Hello. Sakto pa sa bahing. Ayos ba yan? Sana manalo ang ONIC, please. Para may RRQ na laban mamaya. Ano ba RRQ eh? Kaya lang guys ha, nag-ayos pa may or isa lang laban yung ano ko yun. Ay, may laban yung RQ. Lakas na RQ. Reggie. Hello. Pusin nyo na para malipat tayo sa Aurora. Hi baby girl. Aking pusa guys. Aking pusa. Gumana din ang Nolan. Oh, patay mo. Nice. Okay na to. XG naman, XG. Tayo sa kabila. Ito na lang. Aray! Ang sakit!
Ngayon ang maganda, i-rotate
uy, ba't ano?
Well, by Falcon Esports, they have ways to clear for sure, but look at that.
They started off with like first pick. I thought it was
He comes in from the back line. Super Marco just taking it one by one. These balls are starting to hurt.
Hello guys. Guys, pala tayo ng mga stream natin kasi malala ulit. Easy pa eh. Uy, pantay laban natin ah. Pantay ang laban ng mga Lodi. Kaso Bruno, sabay ano? Joy, okay ito ah. Makatis ah.
Honestly, I gotta give it a few. He kind of saved that scenario pretty quickly. It was a good engagement coming out from Aurora's side, but thanks to the help,
Sino sa Rio lamang? Falcon, Aurora? Regine, ulti, napata, ito na ba? Is this where it ends, mga tol? Aray! Uy, grabe ka nga, Marco! Super makmak! Yun lang, punish. Si Yui nag-ulti. Hindi siya nag-push, no? Mag-delete na lang. Teleport. Oo, hindi ko teleport. Conceal. Habulin. Walang flicker si Yue, alam nila. Pwedeng i-go. Pero mas maganda i-go si Domeng na nag-stay dito. Oh, yun! Ay! Lala ni Ogwin! Ang lala mo, Ogwin!
Should have waited.
Ay,
He
yun.
should have waited. He had no idea that Open was already inside that bush, despite Yue actually spotting both out. A bad choice here. However, this has bought plenty of time.
How's easy still alive, barely making out. How does he do it?
Aray.
Two falls to the hands of Demon Kite. But Team Falcons, so risky play.
Risky or not, Team Falcons has already got all the outage runners. Top side is just on, right? Huge wave coming in from bot side, untouched by Aurora. Despite having more kills, Team Falcons are able to great economy off of that Lord Sphere. And this guy is a madman. He's coming on.
A madman.
He's on
Teka.
Aurora.
Wait lang, guys.
Down, Renegade, he's the
Wala. I-bounce.
Get him.
Natin. Lipat ko dito. Palimat ko dito.
Go to the back line. Go. He's just so far behind.
Weird na space. Ang daming nagkakasabay-sabay. Parang ano. Ulo eh. Hello guys.
In terms of the jugglers here, 3 items each. They will hurt these upcoming bouts. I think the main difference maker we're going to see.
Yun.
That's
Ito na.
Marco. Trinity,
Sure na to.
so what? I've already
Sobrang busy lang.
Yo,
Ngayon?
Renegade is already back on. They see it.
Oh, he sees
Oh my god!
Oh, so Marco gets caught. Edward with the onward. SOD comes in. Renegade! Out of nowhere! Takes them
Yun,
down.
nahuli
Takes
yung
the two
Demon
down. It's Aurora charging in with the death ball. They want to go to the playoffs. This is their sign of life. The diversion play.
Jason, he's going in even faster here as the purple.
Ilan pa laban naman ng Aurora? Last na laban na ba ito ng Aurora?
They've already lost 2 of their most important members. No cores available, and Kyle can only do so much against a 2-man advantage. But they're going to try still.
Oy, ganda.
On the flat. That's 5 members. There's nowhere he can escape.
Uy!
Oh,
Uy!
my.
Uy!
Guaranteed.
Uy, grabe ka na!
Makes the
Wala ka!
play.
Wala
He's
ka!
got a bit of a joy. Takes down 2 before he gets away. This is the time
Teleport.
where he gets
Ganito. Ay, nakana.
Come back online. Now, Super
Oh, Gwen.
Marco,
Uy, nice tulak. Wala kay Regine.
Yue is taking down Super Marco.
Grabe, sakit ng ano, ulti ng ano. Marco.
Huge.
Di pa tapos ang laban, mga sir.
So smart. Can we get a replay on Aurora person getting down by the bot side? The setup for both Renegade as well as Edward was disgusting.
It was crazy, man. Let me tell you, it started from the bottom, now we at the top.
Ayan,
The
replay
onward
daw.
again, but Kyle Teasy, bro. No one saw him coming until he was there. The damage is starting to show.
Ano makita yung sarili ko na live?
But they
Makita.
didn't see the diversion play. You got the Super Mario coming online. It's open, taking a lot more
Yeah.
until they come back in. Aurora taking down this Lord. No contest with Team Falcons, just because Kyle Teasy.
Hello guys. Hello coach.
Really insane foresight. They're looking, even in depth, they're looking ahead of time. They're making sure that if we drag this fight out, help the diversion.
Ano score ng Aurora?
And honestly,
Toto.
I'm with Aurora. I was expecting Kyle Teasy to kind of walk away from this scenario here.
Ba't ganun o John? Anong problema sa audio natin? Ay!
She's holding on to that last breath. This is how they play. They're making that mind, but it's not enough. They need a little bit more time before Kite is able to find a way to come into these team fights and not get caught.
Mali ba?
They're gonna
Pangit
open
mo
up the
yun,
map
ano?
though. Gonna check
Parang
that top
webcam,
side.
parang
The
naiba.
top bush
Okay,
knowing
sorry.
that Kyle is gonna be by
How about
himself.
now?
He's not gonna participate in this upcoming fight here. Not
Ngayon
just
ba
yet.
masakit?
Gonna
Play
take the
coming in.
waves.
Got an implosion onto 2. The purifier out the way, but Aurora taking a little bit too much damage underneath the turret.
Ayun.
Domain Kite, he's just
Ayun,
free hitting.
lumubos.
Aurora takes down 3.
Wala pala
They're
si
going
Kyrie
for
nung
more.
mga time na
Lord's
yun.
still alive. There's still a chance. There's
Makaka-diff.
still a hope. Mid lane turret minions are pushing in.
They're gonna crack open the mid-tier
Asa dalawa yung-
inhibitor at this point.
Ayun.
How easy.
Nice
A
buhat.
little bit too close, too
Game
deep.
3, mga
But
tol.
they get caught. Aurora, they're taking one game off of
Okay
Team
na,
Falcons.
Sorry.
It's done for. It's done for. The crystal's
Okay, di
broken.
pa-
They found
it's not over
everything.
till it's
Traded
over
battle spells,
for
all
Aurora.
telegraphed. What a game coming in from
Ano sa
Aurora.
laro
A
ngayon?
shocking
Ano?
performance here as they kept it
Tulos pa lang
clean
sila,
all
diba?
the
So,
way
dalawa
through.
pa laban
But at
nila
the
pala.
end of those
Dalawa pa.
fights,
Ayaw
it was
pa.
always a trade up for Aurora.
Survival instincts kicking in for
Carry.
Aurora. Man, Husky, what do you think of that?
I think this is just a masterclass of Aurora. This really feels like we got that feeling with the MPL PH lower
kalahati ng
bracket
kapit.
finals. This was
Medyo-
how it felt like when those two duked it out for that final slot into M6 just a couple months ago. Aurora really playing it to the limit. And I gotta say, Yue on that Valentina is a nasty, nasty mid laner.
It really is. It really is. Oh my goodness. So honestly, the key play just has to be that bottom side fight where they had the backline access and as well as Edward actually calling where that slide tackle was going to be to force Super Marco in a really awkward spot. It was such a great angle coming in from Aurora's side, but both compositions
Di pa,
had
alam ko
very
di pa naglag
similar
Aurora.
ideas
Check
of
nga
how
natin.
they
Ito
actually
pala
want
meron
to
ako
play
sa
the
Drive
game.
Pro Series.
I mean, in Kautizi almost made that heroic play, right? In that
Mga score, tingnan natin mga
2v4
score.
at the Lord
So
Pit.
far,
And towards the end of the game, we
Aurora
saw
ay
this
1-2.
time, unlike game 1, Demon Kite got to play the
madami
game
pa pala
that he
eh.
wanted to on
Ano
that
ba kalaban
studio.
ng,
12,
ano?
1, and 6.
Tingnan natin.
But honestly though, Renegade made the play that kept
Ang
them
Aurora
alive, the
laban.
tournament
Oh,
alive
ay,
as well.
sorry.
From that back line, no one saw that coming. No one from Falcons.
And
even
Evo
me,
Soli.
didn't
Kaya,
get to point that out, but
doables.
even then, he made the right catch onto Super Marco.
Grabe,
that
ang
turned
hirap
the
gano'n
tides of
ang,
battle.
ang sikip
Caught
ng
Few
group D.
as well as Super Marco.
Kasi lakas
Again,
din noon
they
eh.
both
Lakas
have
din
Purify,
nung-
might I add. They had to get double value two
Lakas din
times
noon eh,
in a
nung
row,
Evo Soli.
and they
Hindi
found it each
basta-basta.
and every time in this 14-minute game.
And Aurora
Ano
really,
bang
you know,
score ng Evo
when they are
Soli?
at their most vulnerable, they strike back.
May
So
one
hope
win sila.
is still
One.
there for Aurora. And
1-1.
Team Falcons, they are not guaranteed playoffs
2-1
just
ang
yet,
Evo
right?
Soli.
The fate still hangs in the balance.
Makapasok.
We have to wait until game 3 to see the
Falcon,
conclusion of
Aurora.
the
Ang
story.
bali
But
yung
at
mga
least for the Aurora
nag-aagawan
fans
sa
out there,
slot.
hope is restored
Aurora.
just by a little bit. They still have a
Aurora,
fighting chance.
ONIC,
They really do.
RRQ.
They really, really do. And I think, unfortunately, if we have to look at the
Aurora,
macro aspect
ONIC,
in terms of the
Evo
team
Soli.
composition, this is
Aurora,
where
ONIC, Evo
the
Soli,
Phobias
yung,
really didn't
day leaks.
exactly get as much value as you wanted to. He tried, but getting
Ay, hindi.
ganked twice
Aurora,
coming in
ONIC,
from the
Falcon.
Aurora side
Aurora,
really
ONIC,
put
Falcon,
him
and day
far
leaks.
out of the game. He doesn't have enough damage to really threaten Domain Kite until he has a Thunderbelt,
Domain
but he didn't
Kite.
even want to build a Thunderbelt. He wanted to build pure
Domain
tank.
Kite.
And then the secondary, the main engager was going to be Owen, but his execution is so much harder in comparison to Renegade, who can find instant value, compared to Ogwen, who has to telegraph it for Falcons.
Bottom line is, Aurora found a way. The strategy this game was just to disrupt the aggression, punish the aggression that Flat TZ brings to the table. And whenever he's too out of the way, too out of his lane, they take him down and just deny his farm. Look at how easy it is for Aurora to take Flat TZ down, even though he was on that back line, being the annoyance that he is, jumping up and down and just pushing Domain Kite away. It was just
Domain
a
Kite.
little bit difficult for Flap TZ to actually come back into the game. Looking at this goal graph though, ups and downs for both sides.
Yeah, talk about a back and forth game, right? Aurora with that early game movements, like Gideon mentioned, shutting down Flap TZ, making sure Demon Kite gets off to a good start, freeing up Renegade to make
I think
sacrificial
yeah,
moves that
12
benefits the team in the long run, just like we've known him for. Team Falcons, they made some good moves as well, right? Utilizing Ogwen and Few to really get space on the map. And then Kautizi, as always, stepping up to the occasion. But at the end of the day, it was Aurora alongside Demon Kite that really hammered in game number 2.
The Smiling Demon strikes again. 82% kill participation in this 22-kill game. 12 of them coming straight from him. He was dealing a lot of good damage, but most importantly, he was able to force out battle spells. And I think that's what this game really boiled down to. How effectively can you use your battle spells against your opponents? Because it's so obvious when the implosion is going to come through, and you must have your Purify available when that does happen.
The good thing is, Demon Kite is always at the beck and call where Renegade is making the shot calls. A Demon Kite layers in his Sever just to stun them up again and again and again, just layering it in, buying time for Edward to come into position and just clear everyone out. So it's a classic front to back with the added help of the diversion, which UA comes in. Look at how Renegade is playing. Good calls, good read all across the map in the entirety of that game.
And even a bit of a smooth movement from Yue to get out from the Tyrant's revenge, Tyrant's rage. But in that mid game, right? That mid game is where things gets a bit sloppier in terms of the team fights, a bit scrappy because both teams were just going at each other's throats. Like 8 minutes in, full-scale team fights happening all across the map, but primarily around objectives. The Demon Kite, Yue, and I gotta say, as much as Yue didn't get 12 kills like Demon Kite, he was instrumental in these extended battles.
So very good here. However, a lot of it comes down to sacrifice and foresight in the game. And I think that's when Aurora, when they got to that mid game, they started to understand
Sorry
that
guys,
team Falcons are
may
looking a
meron
little
ng
further
nasikaso
ahead
lang
than
na.
they are, so they have to adjust their plan, right? And when they found the big adjustment, that's when you see Aurora really pop off. Wait, we should see the super play come in just a bit on the bottom side of the map. I need to see that one more time. How did they get away with that? How did they let Renegade sneak in there?
Boss, nakatapos
Yeah.
na ba rin yung bike?
Looking
Salamat.
at how much he's communicating, he's sort of like orchestrating every single one move of his team.
Salamat,
This was actually the
na
one
pinanood sa
after,
course yun.
it was after
Alam
that
niyo,
chase.
natutuwa ako
It was
pag
one on the
nagko-comment
bottom
kayo na
side where
pampatulog
Renegade was
niyo yun,
already in
or
position. Didn't know that Team
Pag
Falcons
ano.
didn't see where he was on that map, but when Edward
parang
started that onward
pinapanood
onto
nyo pag papunta sa klase. Astig kaya. Ito muna tayo. Palipat-lipat na tayo stream kasi ano tayo, medyo mainipin eh, no? Check natin. Di na masasabi ang gusto kong sabihin.
But besides that, Phobius
Lilipat tayo
and
sa
Moscow
Aurora
still the
mamaya pag
same
na
since
Really
pag-live
good
na yung
stuff.
laro
Luckily,
nila.
luckily for Super
Sorry,
Mario,
ito muna
his
tayo.
bulletproof
From
vest
Evo's
only
once
has a
again.
couple of layers in that purifier.
Dito lang naman
So
ako para
coming into
manghula
game
ng
number
mga
3,
draft.
let's see how Falcons are going to try and figure out a clear advantage. Because I think this is one of the more even drafts, and Aurora more than happy to play.
You can see that reaction from Renegade, right? It's like,
I think it's a good pickup, right? Usually if you see the high lows, you're going to be concerned that
Okay, dito.
maybe the CC comes in later, but there's no CC. Their Phobius is already picked up. They decide to go for the far side instead. So
Okay, game.
they're trying to match up that range, or trying to get the range advantage this time. So they're
Nakabang
trying
ako
to
dun
play
sa Aurora Falcon,
what
syempre,
ONIC
yung mga
used in game
magandang sabayan eh.
to
Pero sa ngayon, ito
their
muna
own
tayo.
style with Farsa, and they ban the Eve. So
Ay, ito pala si
there you go.
KYY. Ito na
That's
ata yung
not
ano eh, Evos.
Eve. That pick is just
Actually, sa,
it's Farsa, Farsa, not Eve.
sa
Eve
mga
is not Farsa.
nakakalam dyan,
So far,
tulungan nyo kung
Valentina
malaman
hasn't been
kung
banned.
ito ba ang
and,
main lineup ng
he has been
Evos o,
picked by
o iba?
for
Kasi dito
both
si
games.
Wanna
KYY.
do it
Iba
again?
pang
Valentina 0% win rate right now.
Yeah, I think
quality
we're
itong
probably not gonna
proper
see
tips natin,
Valentina here, I think.
We'll
You
see.
never know. That's what we said about game one.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, Badang is still a possibility.
Three,
We're
Yeah.
definitely not going to see
Alright,
that.
definitely not.
Okay.
I was like thinking, if we see
salamat.
Valentina, it'll be the steal defended airstrike.
Yeah.
Evo totally just says like, no, we're not gonna let that happen. But the heroes that are more worth considering are like Jahid, which was already banned out. Then like there's still
Revenge
Matilda
naman ni
on the
Alberto,
board,
Buda.
Badang is still on the board, Gatot,
Ay,
Hylos
trabaho pa
are both
tayo.
still on the
Guys,
board.
wag natin ano.
And usually when you ban the
Cheer
Valentina,
natin
you're
on
setting
Nicky
up for a big
Esports.
ultimate Tigreal. Make him
Cheer
come
naman
through this
natin.
time
no?
around, right?
Or Lucas. Yeah.
Lucas could be, but they already have a Phobius here, so I think maybe Lucas not as much, but yeah, it's still a possibility. They can still go for it. Just gotta be careful once Phobius hits level 4.
Bang magandang hero din sa Parsa. Si Lion, si Lion.
What
Sabi
else
nga
would they
nila.
be considering getting rid of at this point?
Ang loading
Most
ko,
of the big
loading
boys
natin na.
are not even drafted yet. With ONIC Esports being the only one that picked up the
Maybe the
Phobius.
Gatot is banned.
Gatot.
Unless Evos wants to pick it themselves.
Oh, Gatot is something that Evos really want, probably.
I think, yeah, exactly. I think ONIC are the ones that have to ban the Gatot here
Last ng
against
in-game sound,
Evos,
okay.
because for ONIC they have 3 physical damage dealers, and that's going to be very, very good for the Gatot on the other side. So they're the ones to ban Gatot. Evos holding, I think the Tig is should be the right answer, right? Against the Phobius, against the Suyo, both.
Edit na to.
Not gonna have Purified.
Sauli.
Funny thing though, we are always kind
was
of
early.
calling for Tigreal, but he almost never comes out.
I think because so far they've been better options, right? Well, in game number 1, I think the Gatot was a better option.
Okay, so
Tigreal.
Hylos.
In game number 2,
Kailangan ng lockdown. Ano, di ko alam kung nagro-ruby pa si Kiboy, pero Tigril na maganda kay Kiboy.
the Gatot, oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
He played Gatot game 2. So honestly,
Tigril sabay.
Gatot counters. Wait, no.
Si Lion.
What am I
Tigril-
saying?
Tigril si
So the
Lion.
Hylos goes through.
So no.
Huwag ka lang mag-veil. Ay, hindi pwede rin pala veil. Cecilion,
Already.
sabay Tigril. Kaso mag-Lucas yung kabilang team.
You could go back
Aurora.
to Clash
Pwede na rin.
Aurora, yeah.
they could go Aurora Cho.
Tigril ba maganda o
Yeah,
Cho?
Cho's
Hindi,
fine.
Tigril na lang.
I like it. Cho is good. Kufra as an option.
O, yan, nakawin yung
Kyrie,
edit.
Farsa.
Ay, oo.
Haya. Okay.
Yep, there we
It's
go,
all
Joe.
over.
All right, there we go.
Go,
Pangit.
do it.
Joke.
Just get that Tigreal
Joke lang,
key.
joke lang.
Elemental
Magaling yan si
time,
Giboy.
bro.
Eh, nag-Lucas na to. Tingin
I
ko
like
sa
the
Evo
Tigreal,
Solid,
yeah.
the
I
best.
think Tigreal is a
Pero,
very
pwede
good
pa rin
option.
silang
He's
mag-edit.
probably not quite as good at roaming compared
Edith
to the
maganda
Cho in
pa rin.
terms of
Ang
rotation,
benefit
but
ng edit
teamfight setup is going
ay
to be way
pang
cleaner
Pobius.
coming in from Evo.
Tapos ang benefit ng Lucas, maganda sa Soyu, maganda sa Moscow.
It's like no badang roam.
Yung badang wala, madaming dash eh, madaming pang out dun sa wall. So medyo
It's good. I think-
mahina
I think
pag
it's
badang.
solid. Like,
Ano ko dito,
you
edit
have
number
Varsa,
1,
right?
number
You just
2 ay
have
si
someone
Lucas.
in front to stun and DOT and heal. I think
ONIC
it's good.
Indo na ba? ONIC PH and ONIC Indo po ang super team natin.
Yeah, you need that. Two are actually still
Yun na.
here.
Go Lucas.
Actually,
Alright, go.
Lucas. Okay.
So big ult. There you go.
Let's
Despite
go.
going up against Phobius, they still decide to go for Lucas. I guess thinking they would have a glorious
G-exercise
pathway, so
lang
it
tayo
kinda
dito
sets
ng
up
ating
already
mga
really
pang
well
hula,
for Lucas.
hula powers.
Get the movement speed and be
Sa Indo
slowed
ka
in,
magkakalat.
get that
Siyempre,
red dot.
anong Indo? Parehas.
Yup, yup, get that
Pinas at
red
Indo tayo
dot.
magkakalat.
If only Randafa is here with us.
He will be.
Yeah, he will be.
Kung may meron nga sa Brazil, magkakalat din tayo.
The
doon.
big game. Now, of course, speaking of big game, this one is a pretty big game in my books as well. As the Sky Kings going up against the Dark Horse comes down all the way to the T. And this is literally the final game that we gotta have to see for this very series itself. Down the wire, which team would
Down
it
the
be
wire.
to be able to get
Funnies.
themselves yet another point in this group stage? Would it be ONIC Esports or would it be EVOS Holy for the Kingdom?
Kinalaban si Dracul. Ay,
Oh my
teka.
goodness.
Teka, ano tayo? Lipat tayo dito, guys ah. Ito. Kita nyo ba to? Itong Aurora. Aurora tayo. Para ano.
The Loyi and
Happy,
the
happy.
Fanny, Falcons, the Gronger, Juicin, and Matilda won't see the day
So
of
you
light.
first pick? Aurora? Ay, may badang. Ay. Oh, so you. Maganda. May Joy. Pag nag-joy ang Falcons, mag-ano sila. Ay, di. Okay lang. May harit.
It's so dangerous.
Di,
I don't think they
so
need
you
to.
ata
I personally
maganda
don't think
para
they
sa
need to right
Aurora.
now. They can give it over Team Falcons if necessary.
So
unless they're
you.
really worried about the Kai LTC
Drafting ni
skill.
Adi.
Yeah, still the
Okay
Harris
naman.
up, right? The Harris still up.
Kasi iba lang talaga yung understanding. Iba yung papaningin nila sa game.
Get their hands on the Alpha Harris,
Ibang-iba.
which
Yun yung
proved to
na-discover
be
ko.
a big problem for just the entirety of the game.
So who are you scared of? Super Marco? Or are you scared of Kyle?
Okay.
It looks like they've decided, alright, it's Kyle.
Harit
We're
or
more nervous
Moscow
about
for
this
Team
guy.
Falcons?
Yeah.
Sabay badang,
Right,
ayan,
Smiling
badang.
Demon
Badang
picking up his signature
Harit ba mas
Immortal
maganda?
Demon
Ayun.
to his name. Then Team
Tapos
Falcons going back
exchange
to
ng
basics,
Moscow.
Badang and the Harith, like we see in the first game.
Pag
Okay,
badang
this is where it
kalaban,
got
mag-highlos
awkward,
ka
right?
ba
They
sa
got the high
Aurora?
they initially got the high loss for the side of Aurora, and then eventually Team Falcons.
Hindi, mas maganda
Team
highlos.
Falcons will get the Hilda later down.
Highlos
the line.
mo,
ayun,
Same.
basic.
It's
Exactly
exactly
the
the
same
same.
draft.
It's exactly the
Wait,
same.
are we watching the first game again?
Maybe depends if we see the Xavier come out
Alpha,
from the side of
iba.
Aurora.
Iniba
it's
ng
exactly the same
Falcons.
thing
So far, it's the
again.
same.
So far, so good. So far, so good.
Now it's the bans.
Ah,
Now
ibang
it's
iba.
the bans.
Okay,
This
okay.
is
Sige,
so
inahan ko,
important for Aurora to get the bans right
Ban
this
out the
time.
Nahihilo
Hilda.
ako
They
sa
have to ban
caster,
out the
sorry.
Hilda. So Aurora, they want to make this work. They have to ban out the Hilda.
I agree.
Wala
I
pa
think
kaming
it has
theme
to
ng
ban
next
Hilda,
podcast.
and
Gusto nyo guys mag-suggest
I
kayo
feel
para
there is-
masaya.
There's a universe where you might have to just tell Edward, hey, you gotta play high-lows.
Yeah, he might have to play high loss.
Oh, huli. Medyo, ano pa nangangapa pa yung ONIC. Tandaan nyo, new team pa yun. So,
Is it worth
Daily
banning?
exp- ano pa?
Personally, as
Ano pa?
much as I
Nakangapa
still
pa.
remember game number 1, the better part of me is telling me no, it's not worth banning. I think we still focus on the mid lanes. Chuck them out. Chuck as many as possible out. Force
You
them
need
back on. Force them back onto the Vexana
pusa,
one
eh,
more
no?
time, and then we can look for other plays.
Ban
You
Vex.
know, it's all down to execution, right? So
Ban
Aurora
Vex
just
sana,
needs to find
yata,
a shot
Aurora. Pag nahawakan
that
pa ni
TC
Fian,
down, and
may hirapan kayo
this
dyan.
might be in the form of banning out
Si Miss
Hilda,
Mara.
banning
Pag
out
di-
high
pag di na
rotation
busy si
heroes. The
Madam.
Hilda and the CC are very, very crucial factors for Crab TC's success.
Walang Matilda, no?
Still
Farsa,
safe,
Farsa.
and just like game one,
It's
they
like game 1.
taking out few
Kailan lang
ones
dapat
to play.
mag-show na roam? Pag ano, pa gusto mo manggulo,
Between
so
Tina,
mag-leash-leash ka,
Vexana,
mga
Aurora,
ganun.
Xavier.
Manggugulo
So,
ng
yeah,
kalaban.
it was
Tapos
banned
pag may
out by
ano, pag may
Falcons,
burst kasama
as
nung
in game
sipa,
one, at
syempre.
least.
Ang ayaw ko lang mag-choke kapag sobrang
We
kunat
have
ng mga
to figure out
kalaban.
for game number 1, you can see the
It's almost the same.
similarities. Yeah, the similarities.
Grabe,
from
nagwawala
both
na aking
sides.
pusa, guys.
It's pretty interesting how Aurora
Tapos,
wants to counteract
ayun,
this. So I
pag,
don't
pag mas
think
mabilis ka dun, parang mas
the second
makaka-control ka
phase
ng
will be
river.
the
Yun yung
same
the best
for
na
either
ano,
side.
It
na
It should
case
be,
para
especially
gamitin.
for Aurora, they picked
Ang
up that
choke
Xavier in
na
the first
roam.
game. didn't work out as well. That would be the Sicilian. Yep.
Sea Lion ban, Vex ban yata.
A ban on. Was it
Di
a
na
Vexana
dadating sa
or was
inyo
it a
yan.
CC? It was a CC.
It was CC ban,
It was a CC ban on that. On that last ban for Aurora, they have to just really think about that Hilda, bro.
I think you can still ban CC if you
Childhood
want to run a
movies, no?
high-low
Korean
CC.
series yung masyado eh. Pag
But
Valen na
your
lang pala
goal
ban,
has to be
Rora.
something
Valen
that matches
or...
Hilda, right? Something that can
Ayun pala, may previous
point
draft
guard.
to.
Exactly.
Kita
That's
nyo
what
ba?
you know, there were plenty of
Oo.
options in the previous game, so that's why I was a little confused when they decided, you know what, let's
Oh,
get a-
what?
It's the same. It's the same.
It's exactly the same. Okay.
that's
Giving over to
fine.
Hilda.
Binan nyo
So is
CC.
it gonna be a
Will
Hilda
he
pick?
pick
Valentina or Vexana? Valentina
Vex
ata
first,
for
right? Vex
Falcons.
fourth, and then
Pick
pick
Vexana
Hilda.
first.
Oh,
They pick
sulit,
Hilda
sulit.
last.
Pwedeng nakawin yung ano. Glorious
Situation,
pathway,
right?
pwedeng
So
naka...
funny, right?
Ayun,
It goes
pang
in the
burst.
same
Super funny.
draft, but if the results are different,
Tapos flex pa yung
maybe
badang.
it's
Sa post-4
not
talaga
entirely
magandang
draft
on
issue,
dito
you
sa
know?
fourth slot.
Look, I'd be very
Oh,
upset.
Prime
okay.
10K
There we
draft.
go.
Oh,
There's
this.
the change. There's the change. So
Ito pwedeng
Valentina
mag-cho.
just to seek out maybe
Ay.
Aurora. The Vexana will be picked up by Aurora.
Oh, kailangan nila
Also, the
lockdown eh.
spice
Pangit
things up here,
edit.
right? If they're expecting Aurora to like think about what the adjustments of the
Oh,
previous
Cho.
game was, where it's like, oh, we're gonna try and pick Xavier
Tapos
again.
Vexana
How about you
for
do it one more
Aurora.
time?
Ano pa bang
I'll play
ginagamit ni
Valentina,
Yue?
right? Ooh,
Walang
I get
Sicilian.
punished.
Paramis,
but it's
pangit.
also a 2-in-1 win because regardless of who Aurora picks,
Ipo-ipo man.
Falcons
Ipo-ipo
already
man. Si ano?
plenty of magic
Paano nun?
damage,
Veil,
great
Veil.
distribution of physical and true damage,
Ah,
but on
kaso?
top of that, so much
Ay, oh,
crowd
pwede. Sa balin.
control.
Sa balin,
You
pwede.
give a Vexana over, you give a what?
Pag
Aurora
Vex,
over?
pwede rin Vex. Vex
Yeah.
or
Has
Veil
no
na lang.
idea
Vex
how
or
is this
Veil
Hylos
ang
gonna
pwedeng
survive.
kunin dito ng
Oh,
Aurora.
Glaciers
Wala
gonna
nang
be picked up by
sila
Falcons as
yun.
well. So the Cho
there's the
is
Cho.
change.
Is it gonna be
Okay.
Xavier again?
And the Veil. All right.
That might solve the problem.
Oh, 100% win rate 3 times picked. This might
Ah,
be the
Hilda
answer.
na.
And then, of course, you
Binilisan
leave it
na natin
out.
Falcons,
That
oy.
TZ's gonna pick it up. That's the Hilda.
Goods.
I like
So,
it.
Xavier, oo nga, no?
changes has made to game
Yung
one's
Lucas,
draft. What do you think? How do
bakit
how do you
hindi
guys
siya
think this
maganda?
will play
Ano
out?
kasi,
I think this
kaya
should play
kaya
a
hindi
lot.
nasulit yung
Mid lane, there's
Lucas.
a lot more magic.
Tsaka, kunwari,
Mobile
nag-heal.
as well.
Kaya hindi ko sinuggest yung Hilda or
Maybe
Lucas
because
sa Aurora.
Veil is like, oh, well, we'll
Kasi
see whether or not he
naka-alpha.
gets caught in the
So,
middle
mas
of
maganda
the fight. I think that's where
mag-chow
Falcons
para
are gonna
may
have to
pang-control
eyes
dun
on.
sa Alpha, Alpha
and
P.
it makes all
Mas
good
reverse
fights
nila
slightly
with Veil.
harder,
Ayun,
right?
yung
You can't just
magandang
walk up and kind of put up the wall.
senaryo
You
ng
have
mag-chow.
a
Pag
Veil
may
you can
burst
contend
na
with,
kasama,
and
like the
Edward
Veil, di ba?
on
Isang
this
sipa,
Hylos, just
matic
like
burst na yun.
kind of predicted, he's gonna be able to, he's gonna be soaking out majority of that punishment. But
And
again,
in this
game three,
case,
do or
meron
die,
silang Veil.
majority of the draft
Tapos yung
kind of
Hilda,
resembles what we saw in game one with minor
interested ako
adjustments,
ba't yun yung
especially
napili
in
ng
that
Brin.
mid lane. So game
Tingnan
3
natin.
is gonna decide whether Aurora still has a chance,
Ipo-ipo
or whether
man.
Falcon instantly moves on from this point onwards.
Alright,
Oh,
let's get
ano,
into this very
sige, huwag
final
kayong
game of
mag-alala.
this best of 3. The current score is 1-1 between our Filipino competitors. Aurora back on the blue side one more time with adjustments to the game 1 draft up against Team Falcons as we hit the land of Dawn. Let's see whether or not is it red side.
Let's go. Sa balita
See
sa
the
ONIC
changes
versus
that
EVOS
Aurora has
Holy,
made. He's able to break apart
lamang
Team
ONIC
Falcons' draft,
2K.
especially looking a lot
Ito,
like April
ang lala
before.
ng screen ko ngayon guys,
Both of
dalawang
the
magkasabay na.
jumpers moving towards rotating towards that orange buff.
Yeah, it's gonna be
90s
really
anime
important to
song.
see how much control
Ape.
they're actually going to have. This
Di yata
time
kami
around,
ganun kalapit
it
sa
looks like
anime.
the
Na,
path
di
is
kayo
also
super
going
anime.
down.
Pero tingnan natin.
Hold on, UA taking a little bit too much damage.
Nakakausap lang namin about dun sa anime.
Already here, the high rotation.
Oy!
Second play, on the
Regine,
field.
for the
Will be
win.
able to
Iba ka
take it down.
talaga.
Takes down Few for first blood. Right now, an all-out 3-on-4 brawl.
Sino napatay
Big
si
Team
Few?
Falcons wants to
Okay.
take this, though.
Sulit yun.
They gotta back up real quick here. Good punish coming in from the side of Aurora.
Inapat nila yung alpha, no? Para hindi maka-advance. So si Flap din nila
That'd be pretty
Oo.
good too.
Flat with a knock-up.
Yung benefit ng ano ng Soyu tsaka Hylos. Easy talaga yung ano combo.
Just to try and slow things down.
Salamat,
Looks like
Mark.
Falcons
Sige,
are
baka may
adamant
merienda
on
tayo
getting
dyan.
Falcons back ahead
Matik.
into this game, right? So now, as the adjustments have happened, we can see that
Thank
Team
you, thank
Falcons
you.
now have to give a lot more respect, especially when the
Uy,
window is
nakakabawi na po ang EVOS
available.
Holy sa kabila.
Distribute their resources well across the map. They know that Falcons can't take too much damage.
Patay si Kyrie.
This Chow on Renegade is looking
Babaliw na ako.
mobile, and I think Aurora is able to keep up
OG
with the
termin.
tempo
Nako,
that Team Falcons is able to bring.
interview ko pa ba yun?
We don't see
Yan natin
Fast
kung
CS
magpapa-interview pa sila.
directly in the jungles of Aurora anymore.
Case na lang
Because
ata.
the
Si
Chow is
Ribo
there
pwede
just
pa
to
rin natin.
disrupt
Ano.
their
Pero
tempo,
malabo
disrupt
na
their
magkakasama
momentum.
sila.
Now the turtle is spawned up. Let's see what Aurora does.
Ito, kailangan ng Falcons tong Lord na turtle na to. Sino nakakuha? Uy! Nice Demon Kite! Nag-retry ba? Nag-retry si Kyle. So ano, di sila makaka-invade. Sulit yun para sa Aurora.
Away the purple buff. That is a huge W.
sobrang importante ng buff sa ano, Alpha. Ay, ng jungle sa Alpha. Ng jungle creeps. Farming. XP, farm, ganyan. Kasi kaya mag-alpha para magkaroon ka na advantage sa early, tapos naka-1 siya. Parang tin-raid ng Aurora, ganda ng decision nila doon. Tin-raid na lang nila yung third, binigay na nila. Tapos nanakawan naman nila ng isang green eh.
Looks like Team Falcons are more concerned
Si Fuego, gusto niyo bang interviewin ko si Fuego? Pwede. Tara natin kapayag siya. Up! Huli si Renny J. The red carpet. Ba't level 3 lang si ano? Ay, Forda. Uy, batay. Ayun pa ilang combo, no? Alpha ult. Sabay ano. Ulti ng Alpha. Sabay Veil. Ipo-ipo man. Ang sakit. Pwede pala yun ah. Tatandaan ko nga yung combo na yun. Si Kelra, busy. Sobrang busy na ano. Akala ko nga mas madali na para sa akin ngayon kasi nga diba nasa poder na ako ng ONIC. Doon ko na kitang-kita ko first hand gano'n sila ka-busy. So, abangan lang natin. Ang mailap si Sir Carl TC. Pero busy talaga yung mga kids. Sipag kasi. Sipag ni Carl tsaka ni Carl tsaka ni Kelra. Kaya parang hirap nila takin kasi ikaw na yung mahiya. Parang nakikita mo yung ginagawa nila. And si Carl, sobrang sipag. Tapos Kelra as well.
Setting their sights up on this next neutral objectives as they coagulate over that top side of the map. But look at where Open is. He has now vision on Demonkite as well.
Sinong boto nyo dito, guys? Who do you think will win, Team Falcons or Aurora with the draft? I like Team Falcons draft. Sipa. Okay. Uy, dito mama yung si Bat. Doon na pornada lahat ng mga plano. Tayo si Demonkite. Dito mama yung si Bat pero okay lang pala. Hindi na kailangan. Nabatay si Kyle. Okay, this time lamang na Aurora. Anong team ni Rad? Hindi ko sure eh.
And once they blunt that spearhead, Team Falcons lose so much of the initiation. Ogwen can, yes, CC people down to the ground, but without any damage,
it's a pause.
Problem. At this point, Team Falcons just need to breathe for a moment. Technical pause has been coming out. Probably would explain why they weren't able to react.
Wala umaga pa ako nagtatrabaho, mga tol. Mga alas 6 na umaga dyan. I think Coach Wolf wins either way. We'll see.
Yeah, because
it's ONIC PH will bring us the W. Grabe, sobrang lakas. Sobrang lakas na ano, ONIC PH, nakita nyo naman. Yung SRG, ginanon. Pero mamaya maganda yung laban. Brigida and Ingan, pwede. And si Ate Bridge. Oo nga, ano.
Penalty zone from Walmart, sort of?
Penalty zone from Walmart.
Not penalty zone from Walmart. It's technically a little bit better. It pulls you in consistently. It doesn't just pull you in every 1 second that you're stuck with inside it. But Stream A update here. Currently, even Stream A is going all 3 games.
The new AP brand.
Let's go.
Si Orada, try natin. So, yun na sobrang busy. Yun na atang imposible na ata makuha. Yun na atang imposible natin ma-interview. Sobrang busy nun. Ano palagi mo sa Aurora team? Ano yan lang yan? Naghanap lang ng kanyang... I think they're just looking for their momentum. And about the meta. Because we saw yesterday naman, manalo sila sa ONIC ID. They won against ONIC ID. So I think they have a lot of promise for sure. Falcons versus ONIC PH. Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Sila din yung malakas sa MPL Philippines eh. Hindi ko alam yung sa ano. I don't know about that RC. Ngayon Android na yung mas trip ng ng mga players. Dati iOS, pero ngayon Apple na yung mas trip nilang gamitin. Android pala, sorry. Android yung mas trip nilang gamitin.
for Renegade.
Yep, it's a big deter, but Renegade didn't lose his way of the dragon. He still has it up here. I hope that they were aware of it. Ooh, nicely done. Good Shimpo, freestyling it right now for the side of
I think they're
Aurora.
using ROG.
Just need to make sure
Ngayon.
they have control. But again, this is the trade of tempo, right? Because
The
UA was
trade
making
of
that
tempo,
initial move with
panis.
Edward down to the bottom side for T1. They lose a little bit of
Pero
control
legit,
in
ano
mid
na to,
lane, and that's what Falcons need to
sobrang
take
comfortable na ng
advantage of
Aurora
it,
sa
which is where we
gantong
see the vision
gantong
coming in
senaryo.
from Hilda.
How fitting
No,
that
wala
both
yatang
these
ano,
roamer skins
age
are
limit.
basically the same Saiyas, but hold on
Laglag
a
na ba Aurora
second,
pag
that's
natalo?
easy.
Yes.
By 4, Windstorm will do
Or
the
more
trick, he goes down.
more accurately ay hindi na sila magkakaroon ng enough na points para makapasok sa playoffs. So meron pa rin isa silang laro. Pero kahit anong mangyari ay hindi na sila makakaabot kasi kailangan 3 wins.
Right here. Just because of this build,
Unless
this
magkaroon ng
Samsuda and his
4-way tie,
friends,
which
like,
I doubt.
that cheesy can't even get close to whatever he wants to do.
May chance ba yun? 4-way
He's
tie?
always getting shut down or knocked off. He's just
Hindi ko
stunned
lang
up.
sure kung may chance
So
ng 4-way
much
tie.
control
Pero yun
that Team
siguro.
Falcons can't
So
handle.
kailangan manalo.
Now,
Must win for Aurora. Yung Falcons, mas importante pa rin manalo para ma-secure nila yung ano, top ano. Ang tawag dun? Top 1. Kasi kung hindi yung nagkakamali, ang running for top 1 ngayon ay RRQ tsaka sila. And siguro yung top 1 is super important. Sobrang maganda. Oy!
It's a major experiment
Ganda
from
nung
Kyle
tag na
Teasy.
yun,
And Team Falcons are going for more. UA goes down. This is a win of opportunity. They need to
Ganda.
break down this
Mga
Team
badang
1
talaga
mid,
na pag
but there's
nakakahanap
no
ng
minions
mga ganun.
whatsoever. But good call, good read by
Kailangan
Kyle.
pa rin Aurora daw.
Edward was able to save a lot of HP there. Despite UA
Napaka-interview kay Rebo eh.
At the very least, he was able to save some of the other members with the help of that revitalize. He tried, but let's see who cracks open the first T1.
Rotations are coming through. It's a 1-4 composition. As Team Falcons looking for a way to break it down. There's a flicker by Renegade, Spur of Alpha, and a kick towards that wall. Domenkai with the SLD. Here comes
Patay si Kyle.
As
Sure.
Kyle Teasy is unable to handle 3 members.
They forced the play on him.
Upper bracket pag top 1, yes, correct.
Mid T1. They're going to find the trade on the opposite side. But
No, di ko pa kasi na-try pares yun dyan, Philip.
There's a stun up by
Wala
Open,
kasi ako
able to
parehas
dash
yan.
out.
So,
Aurora's path was
maybe
knocked
if
up.
I have...
Windstorm should do
Uy!
the trick yet again.
Ayun ang lakas ni Ipo man. Kahit yung badang wala.
From the side of Team Falcons is
Up,
Aurora
kaya ba?
cycling themselves up. Edward take a little bit too much damage, but it's just pushing away, just tickling him by flat.
Kasi yung damage, yun ang problema. Di pa na-activate si Super Marco. Super Marco ang magdadala nito kung sakali. Okay, panalo ONIC. Boy pa sila.
In comparison to Edward, looks like he's got the Gleaming Gem on top of the Dominance Ice, but he also makes sure that he has the armored boots here, making sure that the majority of the damage is going to be coming through physical.
Boy pa.
Not
Teka,
much.
kailangan kong replay nito.
10 seconds. Team Falcons in a better position to rotate and defend, zone it out away from the hands of Aurora, but Aurora has every bit in their mind.
None of FBOGs I might say are native
Down deep in
orgs.
enemy territory, it's 1v5, but here's the Aurора's pathway. Unable to
Yeah,
get alive.
you're right.
Caltisi, but a huge,
Would have
huge
been AP Brand,
knockdown.
but
Demon
not
Knight was
anymore.
hit down too as well. But down the back
Ang
line,
damage si
Caltisi
Flap.
taking a little bit too much
Oy, doon na si
damage.
Marco.
3-on-3 at this
Nandito,
point.
kaso
Domenkai does not
natakbuhan
win
lang.
the sights as
Ano
of
malungkot?
now as Team Falcons
Tinatakbuhan ka lang.
barely able
Wala
to
kang
make it
magawa.
out alive. No jungler, no lord.
Yep. Man, UA's build is doing real good here. I mean, that storm is deadly.
He's got a genius wand already.
That's all he has. Oh,
Lord, stolen away by Demon Kite.
Okay.
And of course, Flat
Basic.
TC falls.
Mga Aurora,
So
mga
takes
Aurora
down
game na to,
yet
guys.
another major objective, moving themselves up on the board.
I think.
he tried. As much as he can, Kyle will like,
Oh, major flicker.
Oh, yun lang.
1-for-1.
1-for-1.
worth it, but Renegade did end up
Worth it
losing
ba?
his
Sakto
flicker
lang.
at the end of it, right? So
Pwede
yes,
na.
they do find one back. It's 2 for 1.
Pwede na.
Now with the Lord
Sorry guys,
on their side,
may
is putting
nag-ano kasi
a
ako
lot
ng
of
stats
pressure
eh.
on Team Falcons. It's
Eh.
these small wins that are starting to add up
Alam niyo
for
naman,
Aurora. As
trabaho
long as they
trabaho
play
is
around
real.
UA and make sure that they have that storm ready to go, there's a lot of easy sets that can be done for them.
Lord marching on the bottom side, but T1 seems to be the prize here for Aurora. Setting his sights up,
Screenshots.
trying to push it down as Domenkai makes quick work of that top lane T2.
They're all over the place. Team Falcons without any priority can't keep up with how much mobility there is. Not to mention the efficiency of the split of
Falcon
resources
Esports
being
gulo.
done by Aurora side.
Ano magulo? Sorry.
Figure out. Oh, Aurora's pathway. Just slow everyone out, but Yue with the flick
Uy!
takes the Super Marco.
Yan ang lakas ng ipo-ipo man. Kaya pwede siya sa harip.
I'm gonna do it myself. Flicker.
Lalo pag nag-flicker. Walang pure. Pero naka-pure siya doon. Kahit mag-pure pala, no? Boy, patay ka.
Low. This man is dangerous. His build is greedy. It is designed for one thing, and that is death.
Wait, December. And that is death. Panis.
The hitman zoning everyone out of the way. Kyle TC holding on to
Yun.
Smurf Alpha. They don't want to risk it. Not here, not now. As Kyle TC trying to pull Renegade away. Glorious pathway laid down by both teams, trying to slow the engage, slow the approach.
Parang ano, labo ng quality.
Crack down and open the T3 bot.
They're making clean decisions here. Holy cow, Yue's already got a holy... Oh my goodness. He's got
Just to let you know, meron akong sinasubmit ngayon na stats.
You got the penetration boots as well. It's crazy how much damage Yue is doing. And Gideon, it's crazy how one small change in the draft from game number 1, which seems so dominant from Team Falcons, is changing the course of battle for Aurora.
Well, I mean, it's two big changes, right? Having the Cho, which we were talking about off stream earlier, and I would have expected.
Hindi ko ano yung heal doon, yung last pick nila. Yun yung medyo di ko feel.
Right? As you can see, clearly they have a lot more control in that mid lane. I think that right now Falcons are probably thinking to themselves, especially Few is like, man, this Valentina not looking too hot right now. He can't seem to close the distance on Yue to steal that ult. And the most he's getting right now is just the carpet. But when he does have the ult, who's really going to set up for his team? When they engage too hard, Yue is able to counter-engage without having to do too much. And even so, Few could try, but I mean, Renegade, if he plays well with that Shimano, can dodge a majority of the damage.
Ogwin in game number 1 seems so dominant with this Roam Badang, but it kind of seems like it's a Roam Badong. Whenever he goes in, it's so high committal. Now, the Lord is getting started, getting pulled over by Demon Kite. Kyle TZ is
Game.
the area at where it's safe.
Lord sure, Demon Kite. Nako po. Lap TC, pumangarap. Ogwin, pumangarap din. Kyle TC, pumangarap din. Dito na ata matatapos ang lahat. Dito na yata mananaig. Buhay pa ang Aurora.
Wipe out Aurora, and they're wasting no time to the base, keeping their
Panis.
lives alive, keeping their dreams of making the playoffs a reality still.
Buhay pa ang Aurora, mga tol.
This guy, a 2-1 victory still.
Buhay pa.
The Falcons here. Team Falcons will take the loss. 1-2.
Di ko alam.
Well done. What a game that was.
Ba't ang gulo ko manood? Bakit? Anong nangyayari? Hindi, nagsasabit kasi ako ng ano. May ng stats kasi may ano pa may mga resulta eh. Sino yung bago ng Smart Omega? Si Luis ba? Hindi yata bago yun. Diba Luis tsaka...
But they have been able to make the most out of this series. 2-1 over Team Falcons, which means Falcons are still not guaranteed playoffs.
Tsaka Yoshi, di ba? Luis Yoshi.
They got some
Di
time
yata bago
before
yun.
the actual final showdown later against Evo's Holy.
What a beautiful clinical game. Demon Kite
Bait ng Falcon ba?
dealing a lot of damage, but not to mention
mga loko. Hindi ganyan yan.
Huge game changer. Renegade on the Cho. He's playing as a sacrificial lamb, but he's making all these where the Dragons count. He's
okay.
back into
is what ONIC Esports needs to be.
Ano pa next na pwede natin mapal... Yung ano... Ano ba kasunod? SRG versus BTR to. Wala tayong paki dyan. Sa stream A. Ano yung next game? Ito, ONIC PH versus TLID. Yan. Ito abangan natin.
Because Abstract said so.
Oh my god.
Gulat na gulat ang mga idol ah.
No bloody way. Aurora went on 0-4 in their first day, and then they beat Falcons. Sorry, they beat ONIC yesterday 2-1, and then now they beat Falcons 2-1.
Gulat na gulat ang mga idol. Hindi nyo alam, sakit pa kapamilya yan. Yan ang tawag na bayan yan.
Yes, but we were talking about the inconsistency of ONIC. I think this team is more inconsistent. Like,
Gulat
they
na
are
gulat ang mga idol.
inconsistent. Yeah. They are the type of team to do really good in Snapdragon and then right as M6 comes along, get grouped, and then still do well in Snapdragon, and then in the group stage, day 1, go 0-4, and then continue to beat the top 2 teams.
I don't know what's going on, man. But all I know is now finds himself
Lap trip eh, no? Late ka na. Wala na. Galing pa ang meeting.
5 points.
You like winning all their matches, they still actually
busy tayo,
can go
busy.
to the top of the group.
Damn. Okay. That was a great update.
Hindi
coming
pa
from
tapos
GMC.
ang
But you know
kampanya.
what else is greater?
Kaya ba
Sorry, never mind.
EY? Huh? Sorry?
Well, we got Kyrie over here.
Hello.
And this is
Hi guys.
this is my first time.
Uy, si Kyrie.
Hi, Kyrie.
This is your first time?
Hello.
Yeah, this is
It's my first time too.
this is my
Hello.
first time. Hi. Big fan.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh,
Are you guys
panis.
too starstruck, or do you want to throw a question at Kai?
I'm fine.
You know what? I'll ask the question here. Yo,
Hmm.
Kai, game 1, what happened in the matchup against
Ah,
Eagles?
EY.
It felt like ONIC, the whole
Okay.
team were kind of lost. What do you think happened in game 1?
Basa ko si Iway.
I think we just had a lot of problem with our communication in game 1. Also, our plan was not that clear. So after losing the game 1, we fixed it and moved on.
Panis.
I feel like we need a little bit more detail though. Like what exactly needed to happen? What did you guys have to do between game 1 and 2 to fix the problems?
Because it was a stark difference.
Yeah, it was such a big difference.
Yeah, it's like a chemistry problem, especially on first turtle. So it all went down there. Yeah.
I think it really just boils down to like a mental reset that they really needed. Game 2 and 3 were
Panis. Kay
great, and I
Kyrie.
definitely say that Kyrie.
Panis kay
This
Kyrie.
game.
Thank you.
You,
Thank you.
you guys have quite a game that you guys gonna have to go up for next. In fact, you guys are going up against RRQ Hoshi, which happens to be yet another Indonesian team. So what you gotta do, or rather, what have you guys prepared for against RRQ Hoshi? Any special mention against them?
Actually, we didn't prepare anything. Just like we're just gonna play like usual. Yeah, we didn't prepare anything special.
Sinungaling.
So
Yeah,
it's
we're just
mostly
gonna
about
play
confidence.
and do our best. Yeah.
I
Sinungaling.
like that answer,
Yeah.
They have been doing that. I want to ask you, Kyrie, about the surprises that we've seen here in Group B. I don't know if you know the updated scores, but Aurora just beat Team Falcons, so that puts the
Yeah, I
group
know.
in a very weird spot. What do you think of the group so far? Like, Group B has been crazy.
Yeah. I'm not really focusing on the other teams. We're just trying to improve every game. So whoever we
panis.
face, yeah, we'll always give our best.
Panis.
Our bracket is pretty crazy.
Yep.
This is a very
Nice.
crazy bracket. Now, also, okay, this is just a very random question.
Todo na
It
yung
doesn't
volume niya na.
mean
Yes.
anything at all. But Kyrie, which one do you think is better in terms of color? Is it like blonde or red? Doesn't mean anything at all. It's just, which is your favorite color?
Actually, what question? Sorry,
Blonde or red?
Blonde or red? Which is a better color?
Yeah,
Which color?
I prefer red.
You prefer red?
Interesting.
Okay. But on
Man,
a
both
completely
red.
different question, a completely different situation. Why blonde hair for you? Is that an inspiration or
Is
anything?
it back to M3?
No, actually, I really wanted to try blue, but I already did it like when it was M5. So I'm just trying a different color right now.
What's a color that he can rock? You guys think? What do you guys think?
Pink? I think we've never seen,
No, thank you,
ash.
Rico.
I don't think we've seen ash gray Kyrie, dude.
Ash
like
gray.
white hair.
Ooh,
that would
pretty
look
good,
fire.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, technically
Yeah,
just
we'll
purple
see, you'll see.
conditioner, right?
Huh?
Purple conditioner, and you can get it to ash gray.
That's actually true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I
Yeah,
wonder
we'll
what hair
team
products
up.
you
We'll
got.
see,
Because you
we'll
got
see.
like really good hair even after dyeing your hair. I dyed my hair once and it died, dude.
Right.
It was dead.
Actually, I haven't been using any shampoo for the past 3 days.
Oh, that's how.
That's
it's
how.
too
Taking
dry.
care of it.
If
No-
you wash, it's too dry, bro.
Yes, it's all about the natural oils.
Yeah.
And it's kind of tough for me to not wash my hair. It's
Natanong
really
na ba
tough.
yan
But
kahapon?
do we have anything else? Let's see.
Wala
I think
wala
for
na
me-
matanong
do you have a
tumaton
question,
na.
Steph?
Yamot.
No, I think you can go ahead.
Mas
Alright, I
nga
mean,
dyan.
I just want to ask you,
Joke
Kyrie,
lang.
obviously here for Group B, we still don't know who's going.
We
But
still
for
don't
Group
know.
A, we
Yeah.
know ONIC PH and Team Liquid are definitely going to go, and
Yeah.
there's just one more match to determine who's going to go. So maybe a prediction from you, Kai, BTR or SRG. I would love to know your opinion.
I'll go with the. I think I'll go with SRG.
Hey,
my boy.
doesn't mean
Yeah,
anything to
because-
me. SRG.
No, because they're
completely
the one who beat us. Yeah, they were the one who beat us at MSC 2024.
So that's a respect.
Respect.
Talaga ba?
But
It's
Ayaw,
okay,
tama.
Michael.
there's some kind of respect needed for Bigatron for the best team in the world
Best
as
team in
well,
the world,
right?
Yeah. Best team in the world.
The silence says everything we need to know. It's
Malcolm,
okay.
It's not us. It's not us. It's not you.
Ano
It's not
masasabi
him.
mo,
It's something else. But thank you so much, Kyrie. Do you have anything
you,
that you'd
thank
like
you.
to say to your fans before you sign off?
I just want to say thank you so much for supporting ONIC and me and my teammates, and we'll always try to do our best on our upcoming matches.
All right. Thank you so much, Kyrie. Thank you. and
thank you.
congratulations
Thank
to
you.
ONIC
Thank
Esports.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. See you.
Oh my god, I talked to Kyrie.
Mga fanboy.
I look like I was like super composed, right?
Yeah,
good, right? I was
100%,
good,
yeah.
right?
You did not.
We
you did
couldn't.
not
Yeah,
just
we did
yeah,
not
shut
tell
down.
that there
Yeah.
was anything different about you at all.
Yeah. There's nothing. I was
want-
like super composed. I was like super fine. You know, blood rushing and everything.
That was
lost
a good
it for a
question though.
moment.
Red or blonde?
I'm actually surprised though. I'm not. Do you guys think?
No,
that
I
he
swear, if you
caught it?
ask
Wala
King
ba tayo
Kong,
ibang
he would
papanood
definitely just say
dito?
blonde. They will glaze each other.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're all friends.
One
you
man-
know?
one
They're
man
chill.
ONIC
show.
PH, ONIC ID, they're one.
Yeah,
Sorry.
they're sister teams in the
They're
first
together.
place.
What's glaze? That's another Gen Z brain rot term again, huh?
Dude.
It's not even a brain rot term.
I mean,
It's not?
it started off as
Did
kind of
it?
a brain rot.
I
don't
guess a
know.
little bit.
It's a bit brain rot, but it's not entirely brain rot. You should know what have you not been on the internet for the last like 4 months?
No.
Well, actually, he hasn't.
No.
Okay.
He actually hasn't.
Then it makes sense. Then that makes
Taba ng
sense. Yeah.
tilapia.
Oh,
mo
my
eh.
age is
He's been
showing.
dealing
I'll
with.
tell you after. I'll tell you
been
during
dealing
the
with
SRG versus
offspring.
BTR.
Yeah.
Siyempre BTR tayo dyan.
What a way to say that, but
Yes.
Eh, kung makasabay pa Mela.
it's
Panis.
it's actually right,
Kidding
but
aside,
in a
ano,
very
BTR.
different vocabulary terms, I gotta have to say. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so
Like
much
glaze.
for tuning in.
Support natin to.
Like glaze. The only thing I know with glaze is donuts, but
Close enough.
wait, really?
Yeah, close enough.
Donut.
So sugary and sweet.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm glazing, guys, but I don't know what I'm saying. This might end up really bad, so I'm just gonna cut off to the show, cut off to the break before I say anything else more incriminating. I don't know. Yeah, I'll see you guys. Don't go anywhere. Goodbye. Yeah.
Kay Vincent, NBA player.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by
Tagol pa
Snapdragon
ata to.
Elite Gaming and
Oo,
DHL.
magaling si Tagal pa ata, makapag-ano nga muna si Yossi.
The journey to greatness starts here. From the 11th to 13th of April, the race reaches its peak at the Tennis Indoor Sanaya.
Magutom ako, guys!
Tickets are live. Be part of the climb and secure your spot now.
Magutom na ako.
Be part of the journey. It's the rise to the top.
Yung update ng COC. Gusto ko, dami lang. Quality of life naman yung mahalaga dun. Ay, mga, tama lang. Sobrang okay kasi yung sige, gamit ko. Tugtugan ko na lang kaya kayo.
Now I'm running this race, yeah. Stallions couldn't catch up to me. I'm running till I get first place. I'm running till I get everything, everything I ever wanted in my dream. No, I ain't a stranger to the fire.
Actually, gagawa na lang ang kape. Mas importante ata ito. Ano. Wait lang guys, gawa lang ang kape ah.
And no, I ain't no stranger to the fire, burning up all my desire to be great. I gotta just open the gate. All I need is saving from hitting the pavement, understanding when I'm impatient, that only I give to me. All I need is a little love in lonely places, and strength to stand fear in the face, that only I give to me.
In the pace, looking for the end moments. Feel idea clear out the wave, and Kelra will be able to escape with King Kong down with him. Oh no, the minions are starting to push in. They're running out. It's Aurora!
Being as the world champion enter the Snapdragon series, people are gonna look them as the highest benchmark. So they're gonna show that they are really the real deal here, and they're gonna show that they are the strongest team in the Snapdragon.
Looking at their performance during Snapdragon, it looked like it was easy for them. They looked dominating. And it's not like dominating from one or two roles. Every single player is a very big problem. So I feel like the way that they play is exciting. It's explosive. But it's really not fun for the other teams to fight against them.
Pendapatku ONIC, ya kita semua tahu lah mereka emang salah satu tim terbaik di dunia, bukan di PH doang ya. Kayak belum ada yang bisa ngalahin dia. Kayak jangan kasih dia mendominasi terus.
Tingin ko ngayon may mga in-improve silang mga bagay lalo sa mga kinulang nila nung time na naglaban kami nung Grand Finals ng M6. Pero wala sigurong specific na idea kasi hindi na namin sila naka-scrim ulit eh. Siguro mas expect ko na mas papahirapan kami ngayon ng Team Liquid kasi nung M6 nung finals
yun,
tsaka
kape.
laban namin hindi kami ganun nahirapan. Parang sobrang luwag nung game na kalaban namin sila. Kaya expect ko ngayon na parang ready sila na kalabanin kami. I think Liquid ID, they show some persistence throughout this tournament. So I think their current roster, very fresh blood.
Looking at the players, I feel like KLID, they can do it. I feel like they can be stronger than they were a few weeks ago, a few months ago.
Pas di final itu pas kita kalah campur aduk sih, kayak kita kalah tapi emang yang udah beda aja gitu levelnya, bukan kalah yang ada faktor X yang emang dari segi game kita. Sedih, seneng, semua tuh campur aduk lah intinya. Tapi kalau misalnya persiapan buat ngelawan ONIC lagi di turnamen kali ini, mungkin kita mulai membenarin cara latihan kita sih. Tuh, yang kemarin-kemarin salah kita benerin pelan-pelan.
Similar lang sa sinabi ko kanina na hindi kasing dali nung game namin sa M6. Kumbaga ngayon, alam namin kung saan kami lalamang, pero i-expect namin na may mga bago rin silang ilalabas ganun, tapos marami rin silang improvement.
Ekspektasi kalau ONIC sih
Quick kahit tayo mga sir.
Tuh biar ngeboost mental kita juga, cuman ya balik lagi apapun yang terjadi kita hadapin bareng-bareng.
Konyong 90s? Di kami konyo ah. Since may di na nakipag hindi ko gets. Sorry.
Welcome back to the Snapdragon Mobile Challenge Finals Group Stage Season 6. And right off the bat, we have the most awaited game, the most awaited matchup. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the M6 Grand Finals rematch between ONIC PH versus Team Liquid Indonesia. Both teams, both players, Aaron Shiki, they were literally just, glazing each other. I'm learning.
You're learning.
I'm learning. And I gotta have to say, this is definitely a game to behold. And I'm not the only one here that is going to be enjoying this game. Right here with me on the other side of the couch, I do have Tadafa and Mr.
Am I again? Okay, you know what? Yeah, let's commit to it. Every time I'm here with Staffa, I am Rendafa now. That is 100% official. And Why are you hyping up this match? I mean, it's all right. No, I'm kidding. Of course, we're
It's all
getting
right,
it
it's all
in
right.
the group stage of the Challenge Finals.
Things
We're not even in
MC.
the playoffs, and we're seeing these two face off yet again. We are spoiled.
Literally a rematch of the M6 Grand Finals. The first time these two teams will be facing off ever
Statsman,
since you know
Statsman.
what happened all the way back then. So I'm sure we're all eager to see what kind of evolution they've been through, how much growth they've been through. Is it a repeat of history, or are we gonna see a subversion of expectations? So much potential in this match.
Well, for some of the audience out there that is kind of wondering, how does that look like between Team Liquid Indonesia and ONIC PH? As you can see, the matchup history so far, and unfortunately, for Team Liquid Indonesia, they have yet to get a single victory
2-10,
4
grabe.
times in a row against ONIC PH. And their matchup history is a 2 wins, 10 losses spree. All the way starting from the M6 Grand Finals, upper bracket finals, we've got a Swiss
Tambak,
stage as
guys.
well as the Season 6 Open Finals, is all went towards the side of ONIC PH. But when it comes down to the group stage, I gotta have to say, they have definitely shown us quite a bit of a performance. And some of you guys may be wondering, the stake involved as well is not much, actually, because they are already at the top of the brackets and they have already guaranteed their slot in the playoffs.
It's not much if you're looking at it from merely the points perspective and seeing who will make it into the playoffs. But it means a lot when it comes to the pride that these two have for this matchup. The interesting thing is this rivalry began here in the Snapdragon Pro Series in Season 6 for the Open Final. But the real ones know it really began in social media when both of these two would trade a lot of interesting jabs and banters. Actually, in real life, they're all very close friends. That's why they openly give each other ish, you know? Ish. Yeah, leave it at ish. I still want to keep my job for a few more days.
For a few more days.
For a few more days.
Just a few more days.
Just a few more days.
Fair enough. One thing we also need to remind everyone is the very potential perfect run here for the group stage, right? Every single one of these games that ONIC PH as well as Liquid Indonesia have won, it is all in a 2-0 sweep. And right now, I think it is very impossible for us to be able to see a complete perfect run 2-0 between these two. We gotta have to respect that. It will be a 3-game series, but to whom? That's the question.
A lot of people, it's going to be the favorites going in of ONIC PH, of course, since they are the world champions. We already saw their history, right? Only 2 games lost out of 12 against TLID in M6, in Snapdragon. Thus, they are very used to dealing with them overall. Like Renoir has already pointed out, TLID has actually been very impressive throughout SPS. There's been some times where they're shaky, but they have a way of winning games when you least expect them to be able to. And that has, that's just like carried them all the way through this way. So maybe something unexpected will happen. Maybe they can actually pull the rug out from under
na
ONIC
ng mga
this
leftovers.
Man, this came a little bit early. I was hoping that it would be like the final game of the day. But hey, in the middle one, it will wake us up. And that will prepare us for more of an exciting game later on. And it just so happened that it's also going to be a Indonesia game versus Indonesia game. But we'll get to that in a bit, because whenever it comes down to Indonesian games, somehow Mirko is always like not there. But at least it's not Bigatron this time. But you know we can kind of move that point on. But anyways, both of these teams we've mentioned playoff bound. As you can see, they are already going on towards the playoffs, and this is all about the ego, it's all about the perfect run, it's all about the rematch. There's so many things that we are just layering on top of one another, but these players, they know exactly what they are here for, and that is to give themselves a great run and to see how they can further improve
Kain.
for
yeah, and these two teams know exactly who they're going up against. They've all been very vocal about how leading up to M6, and I'm not sure if it's still the same when it comes to leading up to SPS. They scrim a lot, really, they're all very close, a lot of messages exchanged between these two. So the familiarity is there. And when it comes to the familiarity, the advantage obviously has to go to the side of ONIC PH. Multiple times that they've defeated Team Liquid ID in broadcasted international tournaments, they always say the same thing. We faced them already. We already know how they play. So TLID really has to come into this with something different rotations, something that'll shake off ONIC PH and throw them off so that ONIC PH will feel like as if they're going up against a different team.
Will today be a special day for Team Liquid Indonesia? Well, we're gonna have to watch to find out, as now we do have got the caster predictions. It seems like when it comes down to Siddhartha, he's the only one with the 2-1. Well, in the meantime, the both of us just went 2-0.
Now, hold on, Abstract. Earlier, when you were opening the show, you said this would definitely go to 3 games. What's all that about, sir?
Something's not quite right. So yeah,
you also predicted a clean sweep, though.
No, yeah, I mean, I am Rendafa. I am your beast mode. If Staffa goes 2-1, 3 games, Rendafa beast mode goes, this will be a clean sweep for ONIC PH.
You know what?
Why do you keep?
That makes sense.
You keep disappearing more and more.
Something that I got something.
Did you drop? Your suit is white, man. Don't get it dirtied up. Well, no, the floor is clean.
Where is that?
Seriously, dude, what happened? Now the Dodo's going there. All right, so the Dodo's gonna be the host now.
This is the perfect chance for us to
take
Abstract's job.
Okay.
But let's talk about ONIC Philippines, all right, Renma. What do you know about these guys?
Well, one of these men here has Savage already in the Snapdragon Pro Series not Open Finals, Challenge Finals. And his name is Kelra, and I mean, best team in the world.
Game.
World champs. Oh, what else I gotta say? They just still look so good, and it's not like it's been a completely clean run for them. Yes, they haven't dropped a game, but it got quite shaky in game 2 up against SRG, where it looked like SRG could have forced a game number 3, but despite being down, at one point being down 4-0, maybe even more in terms of the kills, they were able to turn things around. So ONIC PH sort of like reminded the rest of the world that yes, we're known as the team to dominate early on and just ride it out from the early all the way up to the late game. Well, question is, can their opponents even get to the late game? But they've shown that they can come back if ever they need to.
Yeah, on Stream A, we've gotten a lot of games of TLID, and we've always talked about how this is a very rookie lineup that surprised the world by rising the ranks into 2nd place. But in a similar position, ONIC PH are actually quite new as well. You know, they don't actually have that much MPL experience, and yet have risen through the ranks to become the strongest of all time. There's a reason their initials are literally OP. This team is busted.
Completely overpowered. And
This
we
team is
have
busted.
got
I agree.
ONIC PH. They are the one that recorded the very first Savage in the Challenge Finals. Of course, credit over to Kelra. This guy, boy, oh boy, are they scary and are they strong? I have no idea what Kelra is doing, but it seems like he is really breathing in the air. In the meantime, it is also a win streak for them as they have not lost a
Dalawa pa lang nakakatalo sa ano na to yun, sa team na to.
Season. TLID, boy,
RRQ tsaka Omega.
Very, very steep hill.
Sa isang series syempre.
Wow, ONIC PH. What else can we say?
Like,
I guess we'll just see what happens. It's a little bit better if we talk more about their
Mahina
opponents.
sounds ng alin ba?
Surprisingly enough, actually no, not so surprising.
Okay.
TLID are going to this as the underdogs.
Yeah, TLID, they have did whatever that they can throughout this entire part of the group stage, and I would love to have Siddhartha tell us a little bit more about them.
We've got the Cavalry right up here, a team that has surprised many and has consistently dominated Team A since day 1. Aran, Fabian, Yehezkiel, Witty, and Aaron Shiki have surprised the world and captured the hearts of many with a very aggressive and bombastic playstyle. This is a team that knows how to bring their own personal charisma to the land of Dawn, and it oozes through the way they approach the game. However, they are not a perfect squad by any means either. There can be shakiness, and their tendency to play in an aggressive and sometimes scrappy way leads to gaps in the armor that can be taken advantage of by a more solid lineup. And up until now, ONIC PH, no longer Fnatic actually, that's why they are rebranded, have been able to find those gaps.
Now, when it comes down to TLID,
malakas na boys
I
ng
always
roster.
look at them and be like, yeah, the way that they play is very reminiscent to Cambodian playstyle, where all they want to do is team fight, and not just normal team fight, scrappy team fights, which somehow actually works, which is kind of the same thing for Cambodia.
Simulan
They're
nyo
the
na,
Brawl
uy.
Kings. Brawl Kings.
Ang tagal naman magsimula ito.
That's still very evident for TLID. With what Stafa said, maybe ONIC Philippines will be able to capitalize on that. But Fabian has a 100% winner this season.
Wag kang
Suyo.
mag-alala,
So,
Marex. Naka-ano na yan, naka-setup na yan.
Yeah, Sigma Suyo.
Pero
As always,
hindi siya
he
next
needs to
podcast.
start with the draft, and even,
Pero
you know what,
na-schedule na
there
namin.
might even be a chance ONIC Philippines might still just give the Suyo, see what happens.
I think so.
But sometimes it's hard. That's a hard thing to read with ONIC PH. You could go into it and think that, oh, they're so strong, they don't care about the comfort. But then multiple times that they've shown they do care about the comfort. And even there are certain heroes that, let's say in a game number 1, look like it wasn't causing them problems. Surprisingly, when we head to a game number 2, we see that they're banning that hero that we thought was overlooked, but for themselves was actually additional problem. So ONIC PH, a lot of respect comes from different angles.
Now, one thing we gotta look out for, definitely 100% win rate so far, so we gotta put that away. But one thing that is interesting to look out for is their game duration, because we talked about how when we talked about ONIC PH,
20.
the way that they play the game is they dominate in the early stages, and they would want to be able to really solidify the deal at the late stages. While TLID, they power through the early stages with their fastest game at 12 minutes on the blue side, and the average at around 15 minutes.
But what is very interesting and unique about TLID is the fact that they're not really an early game aggro team. These are players that, like you mentioned, Azrek, are somehow able to power through.
Ewan ko doon kay Manjin, bahala siya.
Power their opponents through pure micro mechanics.
Malakas yung manggulo yung badang, tas ang lakas ng CC.
Like 12% only, but they're still able
Ang lakas
to
mag-face
get
check dahil
advantages
nung
very
range.
cleanly throughout the early to mid game, and I think that kind of affects the kind of heroes we see pick and ban from them.
Yeah, another thing about Team Liquid IT is something that's been evident.
Champ prediction ONIC IT. Ay, ONIC PH, I mean.
Spike that comes in at around 6.5 minutes up to the 8-minute window.
Ay, kulit na aking pusa.
Against Team Liquid ID always need to watch
Makain ba nito guys, Pilo? So, ayun, next topic na. Ay, hindi pala next. Isa sa mga
you have to
future topic pala.
Somehow, somewhere, Team Liquid ID will find an engagement that will allow them to get the lead and allow them to retake momentum in the game. They're just so good at that. I had to double check.
Naka-counter din na iba dang kasi yung mga lakad type, mga high lows.
Alongside, being undefeated, are the only team that each of their 5 players have garnered a game MVP.
Gatot in a way.
So all 5 have been an MVP at least once.
Ito nata, nagsimula na ata. Ang bakbakan, let's go!
For the Challenge Finals alone. While for Team Liquid ID,
Bilis pa
majority
naman
of their
mag-draft
MVP
nitong mga
honors actually goes to Aaron, Shiki, and Fabian, which doubles down on the idea of just how good they are at fighting. Because you need damage, so that means they're a little bit more carry focused.
Actually, that is very true to what LaFell said, right? When they are looking at ONIC PH, every single one of these members are a problem. It's not just 1 or 2 star players. Everyone knows them very well and plays to the team.
Hinahanap ako.
Yeah, and I think that is the small difference that really allowed ONIC Philippines to consistently come out on top against TLID. But we can't deny, TLID has been getting better at playing together as well. Literally, when we interviewed Fabian the other day, he no longer was the type that would be like, oh, I'm gonna solo kill King Kong. They're playing for the team, That's personal growth.
Now, when it comes down to the team statistics for ONIC PH, the one thing that we did the comparison about is the game duration, so let's do the same for this one. As ONIC PH fastest game was 9 minutes and 6 seconds, with their average at 12 minutes, shaved all the way down to 12 minutes. That's a difference of 3 minutes between ONIC PH and Team Liquid Indonesia.
Yeah, ONIC PH aren't just a team that play fast, they play so decisively. One of the most memorable moments of their documentary that showed their run in the M6 World Championship was something that Coach Why Not said in a huddle. He was just like, are we going to hesitate if we see a play? No. as long as we see a play, as long as we can see a sequence that we can make, then we go ahead and make it. And you can really see it in game. There's a team that is always doing something. If not, you're looking for a team fight somewhere
Anong
in the
thoughts
map.
mo
That's
sa
why they're so
paggawa
hard
ng
to
brand sa Lazy?
Now when it comes down to the
I think
heroes, this is something that we can definitely
ilang
talk
beses din
about.
namin nakalaro ang
Moskov,
Lazy.
Ranger, and
And
Joy, top pick,
baka ano, isa ako sa mga
and
believer na deserve nila mag-MPL. Na
Well,
MPL
of
level
course, when
sila.
it comes down to the
Honestly.
most banned heroes, we
Magaling
can
si
pretty much
Pakbet,
expect the
magaling
same
yung mga
thing when it
players
comes
niya.
down to Fanny, Loy, Jusin, and so on and so forth. But these,
I
when it
think
comes down to ONIC
best
PH, they
choice
don't care about
yung ginawa ng Bren
what
sa
other
sitwasyon na
heroes
meron
they've
sila
seen
ngayon.
before, such as the
Sabihin na natin, di ba,
Down
nakuha nga yung
or
roster
the
nila ng
Lucas,
Falcons.
although it will be pretty
I
fun.
think
It
yung
would be
nakuha
pretty
nilang
fun,
team
right? We
right
wanna see
now
some variations in the way
is a good
Badang
team to have.
approached here, right?
Yeah, it's the best team to have.
Badang Rome has had a terrible win
So,
rate
yeah.
up until now. So let's see if we'll
So,
get to
ayan.
witness that once again in the draft for game number 1. Looks like ONIC Philippines are going to be on the blue side with Team Liquid taking the red.
Oh, John had respect by ONIC PH. Again, one of the rising picks of Challenge Finals. I thought that maybe they'd want to leave it open, but they were thinking of the potential surprise threat of it coming in the first 2 picks.
Oh, ito na, draft na tayo.
ONIC PH would want that early game. They'd rather
Kamali ako
against a
kapon na.
hero that's great at shutting down early games while making a good early game
Sinabi.
for the team that has it.
Also, getting rid of the Phobius immediately makes you think that they want the Joy. So Team Liquid ID, they had the choice of letting it through or not. They'll decide to ban the Fanny instead. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna give King Kong the Joy here. Otherwise, like maybe they're first picking the Harif or the Granger. It's still open, but Phobius seems very, very specific.
Falcon,
Or the Suyo.
no.
I mean,
Aha.
if they are gonna fall down the idea.
Ayun no, Falcons na sila guys.
Undefeated pick of Fabian so far in the challenge final. So all the power.
Hindi ba
picks are
Falcons
available,
ngayon?
But that means that's 2 power picks.
Okay,
win
first pick,
for the side of
Soyu.
Team Liquid Indonesia. ONIC PH were
Or Mos-
tackling the Arad problem.
Granger.
So they pick up the
Magjo-Joy
Granger.
Joy
They
Soyu,
deny a
palitan.
comfort for Aaron
Liquid.
Ooh, going for the
Hylos
Granger
Moskov.
instead. This means that Fabian can pick up the Joy if he wants to.
Get Hylos, get
But I
Moskov.
do think he's a little bit more comfortable on the Suyo overall. And there's always the worry that if you pick up the Joy, then
Miguel
the
Andesu.
opposing team will just draft like the Tigreal or the Belleric to immediately counter you. These two teams are quite evenly matched up, so that can be a pretty big risk.
Yeah, first 3 picks, Tigreal, Valentina, if ever they get a little bit too greedy with the first 2 picks here.
Joy.
They
Instead
do
na
pick up the Joy. If
Soyu.
it's Joy Harith, it's a little bit
Uy,
too
may
greedy,
Eve pa?
so they go for the Eve.
I missed that. Hindi ko nakita yung Eve.
For sure,
So walang
everyone
Matilda.
thought that it was gonna be a
Walang
slow
Phobius.
go to the side of
Alpha Matilda,
Team
maganda ba?
Liquid Nation,
Pwede.
but That means that ONIC PH now has the opportunity to pick up the Suyo for themselves and of course go for another comfy pick. Quite literally a lot of heroes that can really fulfill that B3
O kaya
pick.
Matilda Lucas, mga ganun.
Go for the safe
Matilda plus Lu. Pero dulo na yung Lucas. Matilda is good. Hylos is okay.
Pretty safe against Eve,
Cho
but I don't
is
think
also
ONIC
good.
is the team that typically wants to play
Tas
safe.
Hayabusa
They
for
go
the
Cho
Eve.
instead for
Pretty good,
lockdown
pretty
on
good.
the Joy. And then the Hayabusa instead. So Suyo
Habiti kayo.
is
Huwag kayo magalala.
not
Madami
going to be
pang ganun.
contested
So,
for game 1.
maubusan kayo ng ano.
Interesting. But
Hindi kayo mabibitin
the
na.
Hayabusa
Moskov
makes sense
looks
with the
good.
Eve on the board. They needed the
Baka mo lang
back
sila ng choice. Iritel, ginagamit ng mga ID teams yan. Pero tingin ko the best ata Moskov. Nasagot dito.
Well, we've seen teams
Bruno,
try
di
to
masyado
actually
maganda.
answer
Maka-purify ka.
4-1 split where they'd leave 4
Binada.
rounded objectives.
Ito hindi ko gets. Ito, sorry guys. This is where I don't understand the Badang. Kasi dami. This has a dash. Tapos may ulti ka pa pang out. Tapos di ba nakatigil si Badang naka-stationary. So free hit. Ito may shadow. Ito mayroong dash, may shunpo, 3 yung way, 4 yung ways niya para makaiwas sa Badang. So I don't understand this Badang, sorry. Pero baka sobrang lupit niya. But for me, that's the part I don't understand.
See the Valentina removed from the board. This makes sure that ONIC will not have their own RWM and keeps open the possibility of a Lucas.
It's cool kasi may nagtanong kanina kung anong opinion ko sa Badang. I mean, bakit ang lakas ng Badang? Tapos nakita natin isang game na parang hindi maganda yung Badang.
The Valentina ban while the Tigreal is open is usually one of the main signals you have to watch out. So I think ONIC PH is deeply considering that. But they're also still respecting the chip that TLID has shown. The only team that has shown chip in Challenge Finals so far has been Team Liquid ID. Yeah.
Ah, that would explain.
May Sicilian sabay Hylos for ONIC, I think. Last 2 picks.
At all, like first 3 pick, what is that all about?
Yeah. Unlikely to go for the Matilda.
Yeah, you gotta respect the
literally,
Okay.
literally gained the name the Witty
that
Parts
was aggressive.
because of his chip gameplay. So understandable respect from ONIC PH, even the glue being removed. The Veil ban, also very interesting from Team Liquid. This is actually a mage pick you see sometimes to counter dive assassins.
Yeah.
It's something that Liquid actually could have used
Parang
themselves
tinagis
against the
Super
Hayabusa,
Prince
but since
on.
they already have Eve,
Glue
they
ban.
don't want to give Super Prince an answer
Good.
against the Joy.
Yeah, if this is going to be an early Tigreal show by Team Liquid ID, ONIC PH might
Hylos.
actually go for a Roma Kai and then XP the Kirk.
Gatot Kacha.
XP
It's okay.
the Kirk. XP the Cho. XP the Kirk. But with the Gatot Kacha up and a lot of magic damage on the side of Team Liquid ID,
Kaya lang
they need
hard
magic
front ng
damage,
ONIC.
on their
Hylos is
of their
good.
own. So they might actually go Edith
Then
for the
Sicilian.
EXP just so that they can get a little bit more magic.
Edit.
Their mage for Super
Edit.
Prince.
Sakto
Usually it's
lang.
the Farsa, but Farsa here might be tough. I think they might just
I think Sicilian plus... Na, Chichi ba maganda?
Aurora's not bad. Vexana's also not bad. Either is a safe option. They go for the Vex instead. As for EXP lane,
Yeah,
Edith is not
Vex.
something we
Okay
get
din
to
yung
see
Vex.
very often anymore.
Is there a
Ano
probability
medyo
we will
kunat
see the
dito sa
Cho
ONIC?
tank onto the
Ang ganda
EXP
ba
just
Chichi?
so that they can
Sakto
play
lang eh.
around with Tigreal?
It's
Yeah,
not impossible.
That is 100%
Hylos na lang
their
ata
option.
eh.
That's one of the
Khalid ba
usual
maganda?
ways of
Khalid.
playing. I
Khalid.
think that's what they're
Pwede
considering
ata
right
Khalid.
now.
Pwede ata.
They go for Lucas. Okay.
Mm.
I was wondering if they might go for that, but
Okay
I actually
din,
figured
Lucas.
it
May
might
dash
be
din.
better to go for like something else, like maybe a CC just to match up like in overall rotation speed. But since they're going for the
Matilda
Cho,
rin.
they do need a tankier bruiser to take the front line as well.
Ano sila
So
dito?
Lucas definitely
Iritel
feels in that
or
position
Moskov
pretty
lang?
well for ONIC PH. It does mean that they're a little less tanky overall as a lineup though.
Pero ba
so that's
na-trauma na
something
yung
that they're
Moskov ni
gonna have
Shiki, no?
to play around.
Ano pa ya? Iritel Claude? Bakit yata Claude?
Lineup of Team Liquid ID, the threat with going up against the Joy, especially in the hands of Fabian.
Eh, nabaliw no, nag-carry. Carry Brody. Carry okay pala, carry ah.
Lucas can be that source
Ay,
of
Moskov.
damage. Well,
That's
Team
the
Liquid
best.
ID
That's the
will
best
go for
option.
the Moskov with all of the dive on the side of
Basta hindi lang niya i-dive eh. Yun lang naman yun eh. Yung mga talon-talon niya nakakaiba.
that can threaten a
Basta wag niyang
safe
gawin yun.
far
Magiging
lane
okay
push.
siya.
So we do have Team Liquid ID, well, mostly playing for team fights, especially.
Hindi ko rin alam kung ba't tumina yung ano eh. Yung ba't ang baba ng win rate ng Lucas. Pero lakas nung nalalakasan ako sa
And
Lucas.
let's not forget about AOG.
So, it's legit.
So, TLID, what you got against ONIC PH though? Because let's be honest here, you would want to break their spree. You want to set a record. You want to change something in this match 1, or rather game 1, match number 2. This is the Grand Finals rematch.
Lakasan pa mic
exactly what
talaga
you've
ba?
got. Team Liquid Indonesia.
Legit.
Much evolution has occurred
Ayan.
between these two squads
Grabe
in
naman si
recent
Badang.
times
Kaya
ever
pala
since their
pinipili.
previous meeting in the grand finals
Let's go.
of the M6
Lakasan ko
World
yung ano,
Series. ONIC Philippines looking
Oh,
to retain
720 ang Pautek. Ano to?
their title as the strongest team in the world. And Team Liquid ID eager to steal the throne away.
Nag-roster reveal na legit. Sige nga.
Trading of pokes for the first 2 minion waves. So you see Hezkiel was already forced out of the region. Super Prince hasn't popped his. So little things like this, the details are what these two are counting. So ONIC PH will decide to not contest.
Oo nga,
that
yun na.
first
Nag-reveal na
lethal.
sila.
So the second
MP the
will
King,
decide,
Hajizi, Escalera, Jojo, let's go. James, outplayed Sensui. Sila Match, kapatid ni Haji, mga tol. Sa mga di nakakalam.
There isn't actually too clear of an advantage
Bonchan
here. Both
at
sides are
Eson.
gonna be
Alright,
able to manage
congrats.
rotations pretty cleanly overall. King Kong though, going for the mid lane. He's just a little bit of XP off of level 4. Hits it slightly too late, so Witty will survive.
Yep, second minion wave
Alam ko,
meet up
yes,
at the
nag-activate.
mid lane. Another usual thing that
Kaya lang di siya
happens
ano
between
pa rin
these
eh.
two,
Di naman siya
and they force them to revitalize from within. So
alis.
that's two of the healing abilities that Team Liquid ID would want to use.
Sensui is back, no? MP the King. So meron silang util at meron silang assassin type.
Don't like to rotate into the gold lane because they just want to set up the farm.
Magandang idea dito ng Twisted, ah. Meron, kumuha sila ng utility jungler, kumuha sila ng assassin jungler. Very nice, very nice.
It is an Aran Badang, so
Oo, ano nasa si Benny Cutie. TNC? Talaga, grabe na yun, ah.
Team Liquid to play slightly more aggressively, right? Since they have Witty on the Gatot opening up the map for them.
Mama Coco plus Benny, sabay, ano, Yawi.
Gonna be coming out right now.
Parang ano yun, ah. Parang echo rin yun, ah.
So should help with all of the crowd control that he has to deal with trying to get
Tapang
vision.
yung Cho. Power spike kasi niya,
Comes in, gets caught in the RWM. Fabian retrieves the turtle away. Kirk pops the vengeance, but is stuck between 4 members of TLID.
Kapaligan yung laing Leon. Uy, nakuha niya?
First blood goes
Nakuha niya
over to
turtle.
Fabian.
Gagi. Ay, hindi. Nasa ano?
Gonna lose his orange buff. He was brought down
Ano yung turtle
low
stolen na
right
yun?
before that turtle spawned. Kirk just tried to trade something. That's
Babag lang. Kasi nakita ko yung shield nasa ano eh, Liquid ID.
Luckily, Team Liquid ID decided not to
So sa kanila yung turtle.
still be able to get that, but this slows down the snowball of ONIC
Coach
PH.
Theo, TNC?
Yeah, you already mentioned as well during the draft, Renmar, that Team Liquid has a better team fight combination, and right, AOG, RWM, the
Gold po si
as
MP?
well, so
Talaga ba?
it's gonna be very easy for them to just 5v
Nakalagay gold? Okay.
overall, who on the other hand, kind of have to play around pickoff, right? Since they have the Cho, Lucas doesn't quite as much as Gatot either, so they need a
Hindi may outplay sila eh. Pero sinabi, gold daw. Sure ba kayo dyan, guys?
Kelra, who was trying
Sure
to
ba kayo?
get
Sure ba kayo?
the scaled lizard on his side, but Fabian was able
Sure
to
ba kayo? Kasi kung sure kayo, nalapit niya yan.
to balance out and get a little bit more farm.
Yeah, great timing and rotation
Gold
knowledge
daw
here.
talaga.
Being able
Oo
to
nga sa.
cut off Kelra while he's trying to get a little bit
Okay.
of farm behind his
Ganun-ganun
tower.
lang, nalugian tayo.
More advantage going over the TLID now.
Yeah. Thunderbelt rush for Aran, so he's gonna start building up stacks as the Badang. And because of that little trade, it's 600, nearing on 700 gold lead for Aaron Shiki in the gold lane. Kelra rushing the Hunter Strike. Let's see if the Golden Savage
Mali daw pag-edit. Hindi natin alam. Sinacycle lang tayo. Pero tingin ko hindi. Tingin ko jungle yun. Patay si Kirk! Ay, nabuhay si Kirk. Eh, inultihan si Kirk. Naka-live still si Kirk. Up! Wala.
Literally nowhere to run.
Sayang,
Perfectly placed by
tatakbuhan.
Hezkiel, but now
Sipa.
Aaron Shiki gets ganked instead.
Okay,
Yoji comes in,
naka
cuts
ano?
them off.
Purify
Witty
si
able
Idol.
to keep his gold lane alive against a 4-man gang.
Buhay.
Because of what happened to Kelra with the kill on him by Fabian, ONIC PH decided to call for the
Ah!
A mistake!
Pinanis na naman si Idolods.
And just like that, in the snap, this is what we were talking about when it comes to ONIC PH. They love to trade
Ano
around
yaman
the
ng
map.
Moskov? Karino kay Fabian. Patay si Kong King.
Burst down, King Kong killing spree to the
Up.
joy.
Uy, grabe.
Now
Uy,
chasing Kirk
uy.
and Briscoe, but doesn't have
Ulti ba
enough
si Prince?
Saxon
Wala.
skill 2 left to continue chasing.
Verify
Witty and
pwede.
Hezkiel are here. The flash combo knocks up 2, but Kirk doesn't have
Kuha.
enough damage. And
Kuha
because
ni
of that,
Gnab yun.
purple buff is stolen by
Abinisin.
Fabi and Kelra.
Boy, si Widdy
Wants a kill,
naka-revive.
but revitalize means he cannot get it.
Lamang na lamang na ang Liquid ID. Patay ba si Kelra? Ayun na, ano pa? Nadamay pa. Buy one, take one pa sila doon.
Flavor Fave, too sweet for the Filipinos to handle right now. 6-1. And it looks like the string of losses that Team Liquid ID has garnered against ONIC PH has bubbled up into this. Them in the lead considerably.
O baka sinasay ko lang tayo, tapos gold lane pala talaga. Sensuis.
Advantage right now already.
Sensuis na main jungle pala, di ba?
TLID.
Kaya may outlet sila eh.
On the
Malabo.
We have enough. RWM in the mid lane looking for Super Prince. The 2-man knockup with the Eternal Guard. Hezkiel gets punished as ONIC collapses. Spear of Destruction will connect, but TLID not gonna look to continue this one.
Okay, ONIC PH decided to collapse into the mid, try to force a little sequence.
Laki ng lamang Liquid.
Let's see what else they can get because TLID are still looking for more.
Fabian scouts out Kirk and Briscoe.
Pinaka
Aran's here
Lucas,
as
no,
well,
guys?
but I don't think it's the angle they want. So Team Liquid not gonna try and force things here.
Both mages already have their first item, Glowing Wand. Starlium Scythe already built up by the Joy, while King Kong just finishes on Hunter Strike, 1,300 and climbing, or closer to 1,500 is the gold lead that Fabian has up against King Kong. 5-0 and 1 already.
You never really want to give a lead to a Joy in this way.
Kailangan gawin ng
Especially to a
ONIC.
player like Fabian. So TLID can definitely play around him right now. And Aran has already been able to
Pastak lang
participate
kay,
in a lot
kay
of fights
Keldra.
as well, even though ordinarily
Hintayin-
Badang shouldn't actually have that much pressure
Hintayin
this early on.
glowing plus
Now, Team
Domi.
Liquid ID will be able to get this turtle without a
Kaya
problem.
nila anti-sustain. La, ano nangyari?
As ONIC PH will concede it, so that's the first 3
Concede,
turtles
concede.
going to Liquid Indonesia. Well, ONIC PH are just trying to protect their side of the river, see what other farm they can get for the Hayabusa and the Granger. They're just waiting for the power spikes of those two.
Uy, naisipa. Ala,
Kick on
naglag.
Aran, but AOG cuts off ONIC PH.
Patay si
Takes a
Widi.
lot of damage, survives
Ano
it
maganda
with a
gawin? Patayin niyo muna yung Widi. Oh my god, nabuhay. Boy na boy. Ulti ni King Kong. Ulti ni Kong King. Nice Kong King. Hinintay talaga niyo si ano. Si Moscow. Go si Fabian. Patay si Fabianissim. Wala nang dash. Grabe talaga magano. Napakalala mag... Napakalala na ONIC. Na titipid nila yung skill nila. Keldra. Tamang poke. Sila pa nakapag-push. Tingnan, ganun-ganun lang oh. Patay na naman. Pero sa ganda late game ng Liquid ID, I agree. Para sa akin lang naman. Sakit nung Eve, ang sakit na Moscow, masakit din ang Joy. Sa ONIC, on late gamer, pinaka-late gamer nila Haya, pero hindi ganun ka super late game. Vic sakto lang, mas masakit pa rin Eve sa late game. Pero syempre si Keldra, kay Keldra lahat ng...
What's the word? Just like
lahat ng hero, late game hero. Galing niya. Galing yung targeting.
Really fancy. It'll start building up for him. And despite the 2 early deaths in Keldra,
Good target eh yung
just building his third item, he went for the Sky Piercer third. So they're banking on the idea that eventually they're going to start getting more kills for this Granger, which again, could be devastating if they do get those kills and they get those fights.
But the ginawa na item
what we were talking about earlier about how Team Liquid Indonesia has that
Oracle,
inherent timer in them that around 6.5 to 8 minutes they will try to find a sequence to level things out if ever they are at a deficit. That's exactly what
Oral
ONIC
si
PH
Bagang.
did there. They forced that fight in the river to
Glowing.
get it to the point where Team Liquid ID's early lead has been almost wiped out. So it's a little bit more of an even ball game for this first Lord.
Yeah, ONIC is aware of their power spike. They know what item timing
Brusco
they're going to be able to face
nag-Athena.
off against TLID a little bit more comfortably despite an early game deficit. So yeah, like you mentioned, only a 1K only now for TLID here, but they will still retain control over the
CD
Lord
Oracle.
hit. Aaron Shiki going to be left to farm up top lane. The Moskov is actually
Okay lang Oracle.
0-2-0,
Hindi ko trip.
so
Not my type
not having
though.
the best
Domi
time
yata
in
mas maganda.
comparison.
Anti-Karaz already built up by Widdy. Decided to go for the roll.
Ayun no, lantern. Inisip ko pwede yata mag-lantern.
So he gets a little bit more of the
ONIC.
magic defense that he needed to build, especially up against the Vexana's early pokes.
Red Wings.
Forcing out Flicker on your his kill. Now going to be taunted, but still very, very healthy. But that means his ultimate is basically all
Dudura na
gone.
lang.
Shockwave does some poke damage.
Uy, si Widdy lo! Keldra, nice. May double dash pa.
RWM kind of wasted, but a beautiful mid-range.
Nako pa napatay si Kong King.
Into the AOG.
Si Palit.
Burst down Widdy and
Okay
return
lang.
as Fabi, and now
Patay
goes
pa rin
on
si
in.
Kirk.
Once again, a beautiful stun from Aran. Double kill to the
Lalag,
Badang.
wapalag pa si Keldra.
Out of
Traulo.
energy. Team Liquid take control
Wala na.
and the Lord.
Naisahan sila doon.
Entry by Aran. He got
Binaril.
back-to-back
Okay lang. Tapang
MVP
ng
games in
ONIC
his
yun.
previous game.
Minsan
And
sobra sa
now
tao.
he finds the big play. 3-0
Keldra?
and 4.
He's chasing.
Ay,
He
what?
gets a killing spree. He found the joy. He
Kaya
found
wala
Fabia.
nag-Domi.
Oh, he
Kasi
was able to get him. Alright.
mag-Albert
And
naman.
because of the kill onto that Joy, he was able to build the C
Smart,
Halberd
smart,
for
smart,
himself.
smart.
Unfortunately, that Fabian
Grabe naman si
only
Keldra
just
doon.
got
Paano
to
niya napatay
build
si Fabian?
up
Di natin
the
alam.
Blood Wings. The little
Camera
bit of
kasi.
shields probably could have helped him at that
CD
moment, but,
Oracle.
no point crying
Tama.
over
Tama
spilled
po.
milk. But at this point, Team Liquid ID are in the lead. ONIC PH
I feel ano
to
lang.
handle a push that will potentially mean the
At this
downfall
point,
of their middle
10
turret if they
minutes,
decide not to
mas
defend.
maganda
I think at this point,
mag-defense item.
TLID are innately aware
Pero siya
that
yan.
Keldra is
Play
actually
nila
a
yan.
huge problem. This Granger does
Walang
a lot of
Domi
damage.
ang
You saw
ONIC
how
pero meron
quickly
silang si
he was
Halberd.
melting Widdy of all
So, yun
people
pala
in
yung
that
technique
previous
nila.
fight.
Yun yung
Aaron
paka-mitigate
Chicky
na
still
nila.
a little bit behind
Kasi
on gold, so they're gonna need to wait for
naka-revitalize
this
to eh.
Moskov to
Itong
really
ano,
match
Liquid
up.
ID.
And
So,
until
kailangan
then,
ng
a lot of their team
enough
fight
na
depends on
anti-heal.
Aran's setups into Fabian's electrifying beat.
Should be at around 30 stacks now for the Sky Piercer of the Golden Savage. DLID Oh, it's just a Ron showing
Di mo rin
himself
masabi. Maganda kinong-communicate talaga yung mga items. Kasi kailangan nasa inyo yung play ko anong gusto yung gawin play.
Frontliner, Athena shield already, but it's got a Kacha. And another tower falls at the hands of Liquid. ONIC PH's map has just gotten so small now.
Yeah, this is still very not ideal for
Oh,
ONIC
pa rin ako.
Philippines.
Ba?
Kelra is
Kape
fed,
ko lang.
that is for sure, but the less room on the map they have to play with, the easier it's going to be for Team Liquid to go for flank angles. Fabian is always going to be searching for this Granger in every single team fight, which means that ONIC just kind of has to turtle in the base somewhat unless they can guarantee safety pushing out.
Kelra has the Magic Blade, so should help with the little shield that he could get, especially when Fabian looks for him inevitably. So a little bit more magic defense for the goldener of ONIC Philippines. While Aaron Shiki has had a good time farming.
Makakaisa na nga ba? We'll see.
He hasn't been able to get any kill or assist, but
Mas down pa nga dito yung kahapon sa SRG. Malaki pa nga yung disadvantage yun eh.
Came from Aaron Shiki.
Team Liquid still continuing to be aggressive. Fabian was able to steal the purple buff away once again. Rose Gold officially means Kelra's build is complete unless he intends to switch out his shoes later on down the line. The Lord coming up in another 20 seconds, and TLID already setting up macro on the other side of the map.
There's a hungry Hayabusa right now. It's Team Liquid Indonesia go for a 5-man distribution in the bottom half of the map.
May issue pa sa medicine eh.
Okay, they're going for their 3-2 split now. The objective, and of course Brusco just hovering around to help Kelra get a little bit more farm from the minion wave. ONIC PH, I'm pretty sure they know at this point that Aaron Shiki is threatening the side lane push. Let's see how ONIC PH will commit into this, seeing that they know where the Moskov is.
Yeah, Team Liquid ID can feel comfortable letting Aaron Shiki push bomb.
Okay, na-reveal nga eh.
Destruction can just bring him into the
Game,
fight
ano mangyari?
whenever it is necessary. Now
Wala,
they're positioning
bigay.
aggressively. They're looking for King Kong. King Kong
Uy,
tries
may
to
isa pang shadow.
leaves one
Pinang-bebait
inside,
lang.
but TLID is keeping their position. Kirk in the back
Pinang-bebait lang ba o lalaban talaga? Parang kalaban pa rin. Lalaban pa rin.
Locked down by King Kong as Fabian is distracted. He was kicked away by Kirk, but he's gonna lose his life in exchange as now they're gonna find two. Kelra gonna be able to find some pickups in the backline himself as Aaron Shiki comes to join in the fight, and that is going to be
ubusin ni Kelra,
ubusin
ni Kelra, Fabian. Wag kang umulit. Wag kang umulit.
Looking for more, doesn't have the Sonata stacks anymore.
Kahit magtulong-tulong tayo.
Directly with the wind of nature.
Ganda lang.
Kelra dashes forward once again. That might be a mistake. Taking him flickers forward. Not able
Ayun
to
lang.
finish off Aaron Shiki.
Nasobrahan sa init. Grabe nag-rose gold.
Gets a shutdown.
The control that Aaron Shiki showed, he could have stayed, he could have tried to get that kill, but Team Liquid ID told him, hey, you've got us and we got you.
Fabian na isa pa. Unstoppables.
Super Friends.
The unstoppable streak for the Usurper, for Flavor Fame himself. As Team Liquid ID prolong the fight and bait ONIC Philippines into facing him directly. The Lord is cleared up eventually, but that is a momentum swing back in favor of Team Liquid.
Liquid ID.
Ganda pa, may laban pa, may laban.
The fact that King Kong stole that Lord away, it diminished what could have been a massive win for Liquid ID, potentially even a game-ending win. But they were able to get the kills that they needed to get. But with that sequence, it is a harsh reminder for them that yes, Kelra's damage as the Granger really hurts. But it's also a reminder for ONIC PH that they gotta be a little bit more careful, because Liquid ID are more careful now. So calculated. 11-2-4 is Fabian's Joy, fully built already at this point. And Kelra just got hit with a poke damage from someone. Was that the Eve and the Moskov together somehow? Was that just the Eve? But that hurt.
He was getting juggled basically by the remaining members of Team Liquid, which is unfortunate.
Saan
but
mag-coach si
ONIC
Daki?
actually had a good idea of starting that fight.
Ayaw niya sabihin eh, no? Nakita ko siya nung nakaraan eh. Malay nyo, charot-charot lang yun. Pahinga lang ng few minutes.
So that Fabian couldn't retrieve the Lord, but then after that, they're kind of spent.
Ay, hindi ako
They're
magtunan
split
deso.
apart, and Team
Kinuha
Liquid
ko lang
can
yun.
just pick them off one by
Di pa ako
one.
ganun.
They still
Wala
have
pa ako
to
sa
be able
ganun
to
level.
balance out their gameplay somehow.
4,000 and climbing is a gold lead of Liquid Indonesia, but at this point in this game, just a 1 or 2 item advantage, and ONIC PH will have the resources to balance things out or even commit a fight if ever.
Hey,
Yet again,
Connie Prince.
no purple buff for this Hayabusa. Good ID has been starving them. Who was able to get it? Oh, Super Friends was able to get it though.
At least that's something. For
Maganda nga yun eh, no?
You don't
Mage na
want
punta.
to be in a position in a game where you have to say like, hey, at least we got something, right? Especially being ONIC Philippines, the champions of M6. Renmar, what do you think they need to be able to do in this position to turn the game around?
Well, usually they will play for trying to win it around the fight, sending the 4-1 split, try to balance it out with the turrets, and they just hope that the 4 left around the objective are actually going to be able to win and get the kills. So far, Liquid ID have been executing the team fights a little better, so now they just have to bank on the fact that they need to play the team fights better. So both have gone for a 4-1 split, so 4-4 around this objective. Fabian already sees Brusco!
Brusco! Immortality is gone!
Parang masaya ata si Brusco dito. Parang masaya ata si Brusco dito. Legit.
In the meantime, Aaron Shiki in the backline on top of Kirk.
Trade. Oh, hindi na pag-ilang. Kirk, uy, yun lang, nagkamali.
Winnie slays Kirk as well. The beast is down. It is now a 4v2.
Uy, grabe. Uy, nice try, Aransky. Nice try ka dun. Legit. NT ka, NT. NT sa'yo, idol.
From behind, but his survival was key for ONIC Philippines.
NT, sir.
Remain, but Liquid Indonesia, they will be able to get the sword without a problem and without their jungler. Way too risky if Keller and Super Friends got close, but it looks like will they? Could they?
Uy, what ka naglag? Uy!
Kelra still trying to go in. Eternal Guard misses. Yehezkiel gets terrified as Aaron Shiki tries to jump on Kelra. Once again, the Lord is low, but no jungler is alive. It is a 50-50.
Kanino?
Aaron Shiki secures it.
Oh, nice dodge.
Drops low. Spear of Destruction misses.
Na-dodge. Patayin niya. Tapusin yan.
But he gets terrified. Dashes out of the Lord pit.
NT.
Looks like there'll be no further casualties here.
Less than 100 HP remaining on the Lord when Super Friends hit it with the Cursed Blast. We thought that the Vexana could have potentially taken it away, but just a little bit left. And one basic attack from Aaron Shiki meant that Liquid will be pushing with this third Lord of the game.
Aaron Shiki had faith. He literally stopped attacking the Lord when he saw that skill indicator.
Yeah.
Because he knew any more damage would probably give the kill to Super Friends. So
exactly.
Really good micro. Again, showing you why these are the strongest teams in the world. Lord
Eto, sila naman din talaga. Oy, Shiki!
Aaron Shiki jumps in.
Sumasobra ka na naman.
King Kong, but the damage is done as ONIC cannot defend their bot tower. Fabian
Shiki
looking
ting.
to threaten
Ay,
Kirk,
sumasobra ka na. Oy, grabe, marunong din mag-dash. Ay! Hindi mo natakpa si Kirk. Ang kulit mo. Pa-clear muna tayo, Kelra. Clear muna. Ay, nakulti! Oh, patay! Panisya King Kong. Hindi, patay na.
Winnie! Eyes on the prize, baby! That's going to be game one. Going the Team Liquid ID.
Nakasi mga idol.
Indonesia! Immediately from game number 1 have already destroyed the predictions of mine and Renmos. 2-0? No. We gotta respect. We have to respect. This game is out of this world, and at this point in time, we would need ONIC PH to execute a perfect sweep, a reverse sweep.
Okay lang. It is what it is. Haba pa ang gabi.
Well, continuing on to the legacy of winning TLID every time.
Yeah, this is a different Liquid Indonesia. How they were team fighting there. Fabian's entry. There are 2 members of TLID that I really want to give focus on. Hopefully they're not going to get overlooked. It's Aran and Yehezkiel. Their timings. They knew that what their kit brings is for Aran, hard lockdown setup.
Hindi kasi nag-arabo si Bruce.
Saving it for the entry of Kirk, for the entry of King Kong. Bring up that wall, bring out that stun and the combo. While Yehezkiel, with the reach that he has, is doing everything he can to take Super Friends out of the team fights. Especially with their last one, Yehezkiel, you can see the skill indicators of the Eve were all focused towards the Vexana, knowing that that was the best tool ONIC Philippines had to clear waves and safely poke Liquid Indonesia, because Keller was also busy trying to handle other things.
Yeah. I think we already knew going into this game that TLID had the better team fight lineup. It's just a lot easier to execute with all the big ultimates that they have on their side, and then the Joy as well, which ONIC Philippines will always have to be dealing with. On the OP side, they do actually need to go for pickoffs, right? They have the Cho, they have the Hayabusa. That makes it a little bit more difficult for them because they need to be the ones in control of the map. And TLID is they're not a team you can gain control over easily.
It's kind of scary how, because OP
Pahinga muna tayo konti. Mag-replay lang sa mga dapat replayan.
cross-map plays. They have very high mobility heroes. Of course, Hayabusa as well as Cho, they all know they can definitely get themselves to places. And of course, you know, that pick-off strategy definitely works well whenever they want to play a macro game. But this doesn't seem to be very true going up against the LID. A lot of these objectives were just not taken. Although I gotta have to say, ONIC PH did manage to take a single Lord, but when it comes down to getting a single Turtle, that wasn't possible at all. They didn't really manage to get any form of, well, advantage in the first few minutes of the game.
Yeah, but you saw that ONIC Philippines acknowledged that, and they were trying to win different sequences. So they got that lore, they were able to get a little bit of push off of the sides, although they could have gotten more towers, but Liquid Indonesia were covering their map well.
Yeah, they have heroes that can cover a map very easily, right? And they already had lane priority somewhat.
Sinekping lang nila naman. Papatagal yun, tapos biglang sobrang dali ng next 2 games.
Is very good and somewhat even from both sides, right? So there was no clear advantage there. But I think a lot of the early prio has to go to Aran, right? Because he was able to join fights so early on. He was just not bothering trying to match Kirk in lane because he knows that he is such a strong setup for his team.
Now with the MVP, Fabian, 13 is to 3 is to 6, of a total of what, 811 GPM, and of course 95% total kill participation throughout the entire 19 minutes of the game. I gotta have to say though, this Joy has been zip-zap zooming throughout the entire battle, and we have just been finding so much advances. All the way to the backlines, I'm pretty sure that even when it comes down to Vexana, boy oh boy, Super Friends is having a top time.
Yeah, Fabian, no other way to put it. This game from him was just crazy with that KDA and the timing of his entries. Interestingly enough, ONIC Philippines took this trade in the draft. They first picked the Granger, they gave the Joy, they picked the Vexana into it. Of course, that was one of the last picks that we mentioned. Could handle it well, but Fabian just played this too well. His combinations with Aran, it seemed like they knew that their entries together would cause so much havoc, and especially for the first 2 highlights that we just saw, it was Aran and Fabian starting things out for Liquid Indonesia.
It's extremely explosive the way they went in, and you don't really have a lot of time to react to that as well.
Yeah, I think the rotations and timings are just very clean coming in from TLID. Right from the beginning, Fabian was already able to pick up so many like easy early kills for himself just because he knew where he needed to be on the map. And then, after that, there's no real way of controlling it. Even here, I feel like Kelra needed to back off when he still could. I know that is so tempting when the opponents are so low, but they are literally juggling him. They're controlling him there. And then after that, the team fights are so well executed because Witty and Aran are just cutting off paths for ONIC.
Liquid Indonesia just, again, this is the most impressive form I've seen them recently. These two teams really bring out the best in each other. And not to downplay the victories that Liquid Indonesia has had so far in the Snapdragon Pro Series Challenge Finals this season, but there's just something about watching them, their team fights, how they're handling it, the entries. Really, you can see and tell that they're playing with a huge chip on their shoulder. And
no joy, no win. Pwede ba manalo ONIC dito or playoffs qualified na sila. Pero pag nag-top 1 kasi makagandahan sure tayo sa upper bracket. Yun yung maganda. Yun yung mas maganda.
Literally stream A, B, and C.
Mahirap pala na pag yung nagla-live ako tas trabaho pa rin. May trabaho pa din.
It's kind of illegal to have all these 3 games happening at the same time. We have Bigotron Alpha going up against SRG. We have CUSUN going up against Team Flash. And then we also have ONIC PH versus TLID.
What happened to Team Flash?
Let's not talk about that.
Oh no, did they? Oh no.
One game though.
Well, it's a sensitive topic for him.
One game.
Okay.
We have to respect.
Stream updates. Hey, SRG,
oh
good for
my God,
them.
bigger throw.
Oh no.
They were leading. They were leading.
They were leading that game?
Tron was leading.
Oh, dang. All right, okay.
All right.
Well, I mean, they are fighting for literally the last slot.
Yes.
In Group A.
Yes.
Whoever wins that series wins the last slot for the playoffs because ONIC and Liquid already secured it.
Yes. So this is quite literally the most amount of pressure there is.
It said also see you soon is 1 game up.
And of course, when it comes down to the rest of the show, it's definitely great and all, but there is more than when it comes down to the Snapdragon Mobile Challenge Finals. We have the Snapdragon
Nabaliktad pa ng SRG.
When it
sayang,
comes down to
pala pinanood
this,
ko,
there
no?
is a QR code right over there. Pick up your tickets.
Sayang,
They
di
start
ko
from
napanood.
10,000 IDR, which is actually less than 1 USD. It's very open to everyone, and it will be happening at Jakarta as well.
Yeah, same venue as M4. Teams from all over the world. You can count it as a World Championship level event. 80,000 USD for the winner of the tournament. Why not? Just go.
It literally is the World Championship event for Snapdragon. So, like, if you guys wanted to watch a tournament that's on the same level as like the M Series in the middle of the year, then that's where you guys need to go.
If you guys really want to know which team it will be the best team in the world, that is where you're gonna have to go to, and that's how you're gonna be part of it. But speaking of being part of it, we will be part of the most exciting game here in Stream A very soon after this very short break. If you guys want to stay tuned to how this
Wala, may break pa. Ano ba yun?
ONIC PH versus TLID, make sure you guys check back
Malaro
in
na lang, uy.
this time as we are going off for a short little break.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming and DHL.
Snapdragon.
Stranger to the fire, burning up all my desire to be greatest days coming in waves. And no, I ain't no stranger to the fire, burning up all my desire to be great.
Ano ba yan? Ganun break pa.
Just open the gate. All I need is saving from hitting the pavement.
Tamang BTR. Yun lang, nakambakan. Panoorin niya natin. Kasi 1 minute na nun. Nag-improve. Oo, I agree ako dyan. Agree ako dyan. Ngayon yung mawatch yan. Tuloy mo ang mga hindi ko nagawa. Di, pero totoo yun. Super agree ako dyan. Super agree. Na si Bonchan, mataas chance na ma-train, tawag dito? Ma-train ni Bonchan. Mabigyan ng tamang proper learnings si Escalera. Tsaka for sure may system yan, may sariling system yan.
And we are back again for the Snapdragon Mobile Challenge Finals, Group Stage, Season 6, Day number 3. With the second series of the day, we have witnessed one game between ONIC ONIC PH versus TLID. With the very first game moving forward and in favor of Team Liquid Indonesia, I gotta have to say, they played their hearts out and they are almost there to completely clear their name and make sure that that consecutive 4 losses will be broken.
It will be the first time that TLID has defeated ONIC PH ever, I guess. I don't really know if they won against them like in the far past, but if it did happen, it would have been a different lineup entirely. So I'm gonna assume that it would be their first victory ever if they're able to achieve it.
They're vying for a perfect run too. Let's remember that. If they were to take game number 2, actually that would be a little bit scary. That would be a statement to the entire world that we too owed the world champion.
Yeah. I wonder if ONIC Philippines are probably... I mean, they're thinking about winning the whole dang thing. But maybe a part of them, each and every one of them are just thinking, am I petty enough to really just win this game number 2? So that if ever they can, they can't say that they swept us, and so they won't have the perfect record. If I was ONIC PH, I would be that petty.
That's not even pettiness at that point. That's what you gotta do. You know, you need to win in this position.
But for showmanship, technically, you know, give that win and they're like, oh, look, 0-2, they want us, they're better. And then go back to the playoff, it was all a lie.
Wow, setting up for the long game.
Let them have that very short
Ganda ng
moment
laban.
of euphoria, only to
Si
immediately
Mirko.
steal that away from them.
You sound like the comment section.
Naging steps na natin. Hindi, wala. Wala ako ikikiling dyan si Jojo magaling. May talent talaga yun.
It'd be in much simpler language.
I'm sure na mas maganda yung mangyayari para kay Escalera kasi ngayon siguro mas matagal yung oras, di ba? Na meron siyang nakakalaro. So, napakalaking bagay naman.
I think I read too much comments at this point in time. I'm absorbing. It's all about manifestation.
It's all about manifestation and copium. I think all of us are pretty used to huffing some copium by now, right?
Let's not talk about that.
I don't know.
Pero
That
wishing
wasn't
them
meant
well,
as a
honestly.
personal attack, but
The shoe fits and that's a size 7.
collateral damage, I guess.
Collateral damage.
Bro, you have small feet.
I do actually.
That's pretty cool. Must be easy for you.
Game. Draft tayo, draft.
Technically, yeah, it's actually pretty easy. I can just walk right in.
Granger agad para sa Liquid ID.
That's because I have a
Ayun,
massive
palitan.
sock.
Kunin agad
Hey,
badang.
Granger again, but
Ang
it's
ONIC.
liquid.
Oh, okay. We're in the draft now. So that's perfect. Let's talk about this real
Matilda,
quickly.
no?
As Team Liquid Indonesia
Uy, may
have banned out
Matipop,
Loyi,
Matipop,
Harris, as well as
Matipop.
Leota, while ONIC PH banned out the Joy, Fanny, and Jusin. So what's available on the board? We have Granger that's been picked out.
Matipop is
We
kaya.
are looking out for a possible Suyo on the side of ONIC PH unless they want to kind of change
Matipop, tas pwede pang ialpa sa third pick.
There is the Alpha Matilda.
Alpha Matilda.
Matifop niya na. Matifop. Badang.
Matilda and more Matilda. We haven't seen that at all.
Okay, ONIC leaning into the
Yung
right
Liquid
angle
yung
instead of
Matilda po.
stealing
Hindi, para
Badang
Pobis.
and
Matilda
moving
Alpha
away
sila
from
pwede.
Team
Or
Liquid
Mati.
ID. I like it.
And
I think it's a good idea. Both these teams like to
Matilda
fight. If you're able
plus
to force
Hayabusa, mga
scrappiness
ganun.
from your opponent better than they can, then
So,
it'll
yun
be a
pala
lot
pwede pa.
simpler for you to
Sayang?
approach team fighting in the first place.
Okay, they don't have to worry
Pero
about
malakas talaga yung Badang ngayon.
really difficult to run.
Yan ang uso.
They're not gonna Phobius at this point because there's an Eve on the other side. At this point. Maybe Lucas might just be the best bet for Iran right now.
Would it be too early to immediately hop in on the Gato Gacha just for the taunt on the Eve?
Hylos.
Oh, wait, no, yeah, that'd be a great pickup. And Naran has shown an EXP lane. Gata Gacha, he's one of the few players to do it.
So yung math. So yung
big
mathing
time
yan.
picks.
As expected.
That is a top global
Pwede ka pa ba
Matilda
mag...
with a Matilda in his hands.
Witty the Wise himself.
Maganda ba
on
Alpha?
the Matilda.
So,
Now gonna be able to
sakto
pull
lang.
people in and out
Haya,
of
pala ba? May haya pa
danger.
pala.
Literally, it's a great way of saving people from RWM or
Habayusa,
Face break if they get caught out on their own. So,
apart from that,
really solid pickup here from Team Liquid ID, even denying the most.
Salamat,
jungler
birds
still
don't lie.
available. That is the Suyo. So,
Iri
Onyx gonna go
talaga?
ahead and lock in the Granger counter before it gets banned out.
Okay, so with them, with the Irithel, you have someone who's mobile. So whatever mid lane pick that might end up in the hands of his skill.
di siya takot.
Catch the Irithel so easily, especially even for the Suyo, it's not the easiest job.
Pag ganito, ibababan mo is Cho. Ay, di, wala na.
Team fighting and skirmishing. So
Hylos.
the offensive routes first.
Hylos
That
good
is
bad.
still flexible
Para
for
ano,
the
mga
side of
vengeance carrier.
You
Ganun.
also still have to watch out for a CC potentially coming
Kaya
up for
Novaria. Kasi nga naman na nagda-Nova plus ano
love
yun.
this
Nova
bat. This
Granger
could've been
sila.
a fantastic pick for Yehezkiel in the mid lane.
Nagpa-practice na kasi sila Marky Hito eh. So, di ko na
Getting rid
sila
of the
makatap.
scouting tool, a way to poke from afar, and we've already seen the Novaria Granger combo many times here. So ONIC not gonna give them that opportunity. As for Team Liquid ID, I think it might be worth considering getting rid of more frontliners. I feel like if you give ONIC a Hylos as well, at this point it'll be very difficult to play around since Gloria's pathway with Iritel makes a
First time ata matalo ONIC sa game 1.
Yeah, that's true, but part of me thinks if
Nice ban na Dahaya, tapos next na niyan, Nolan siguro na ban.
offensive tools, or can they just play a
Norlan.
little bit more defensively here? Because you already have the Matilda that will almost always get into position first, will 100% break the formation of the real-world manipulation, and can easily send someone alongside the Matilda to annoy Super Friends in the back. So, okay, so ONIC PH decided to go in that route. That
Magana
Phobius
maglulukas
could
yung ano.
still be a problem.
Maglulukas yung
They
ONIC
take
fourth
it
pick.
out, but now they have to watch out for Savior of Farsa
Oh,
on
yun
the
yun.
side of
Good ban, Norlan.
Liquid. But damn, good bans by
Burst potential.
Hard focus on King Kong here.
Yeah, still King Kong pick's gone already. They might be stuck with an
Well,
outfit
last pick na yan, si ano?
for them.
Si King Kong. Magjo-Julian yun bigla.
No way.
Charot. Lucas maganda.
I
Kunin.
was the possibility of a Julian.
Uy, nakikinig ata tong si ano. Si Renmar, nakikinig sa atin. Para sa sinasabi.
I don't expect the AA.
Okay, okay din na may Alpha.
I feel like AA Julian is just D-build now though.
Okay din Alpha. Good combo with
I
Badeng.
would say, yeah, picking up the RGM may be nice.
Pero
for
maganda.
defensive purpose.
Chow, pwede na rin. Okay lang, flex pa rin.
Show. Okay,
Julian
so
pa rin yan.
Badang
Charot.
XP.
Nice, I like that. I like that.
If Team Liquid wants to
Sa
directly win
Eve,
out the XP lane,
usually.
they can either go
Pwede
CC
magka-lead
or go
ang ano.
into a tank like
Oh, di ko rin
Megaton
na Lucas.
to just, like,
Sila
stand
pwede
back
mag-Lucas
out.
pala.
But
Liquid
done,
ID.
these are two options they can go for.
Gatot or
6
Lucas,
is
pero mas maganda
gone.
Lucas. Sabay kuha
Otherwise,
ng
they're still looking for their
Cecilion.
mid laner as
Hindi,
well,
pangit.
and there's not a lot that can
Gora,
really match
bakit
the
Gora?
lane priority of an Eve.
Yung
You
Vex
can
kasi
go
hindi makakahabol
Valentina
eh.
to steal the RWM, but
Oh, maganda.
still a
Cecilion
difficult
ata
hero
eh.
to execute in the current meta.
May Valentina.
Just go gotcha.
Yeah, Valen, Lucas. Lucas Balen. Glue. Not bad.
Wait, oh, Valentino
At least
was
tama yung
banned.
Balin natin.
Okay.
This is free RWM for them.
Julian.
Yeah, and that's devastating. This is a fantastic
Pero dahil nag-glue,
draft by Liquid.
maganda na yung
Good job.
ay, sakto pa rin
Link
yung
XP.
Alpha, no?
This is gonna be another really tough game for Super Friends potentially.
This is gonna be a fast-moving, fast-paced game from the side of Liquid ID.
Alpha or Julian na nakikita ko
All
dito, guys.
over the map, and in fact, I think that ONIC PH may suffer a little bit when it comes down to that form of mobility.
Yeah, and even if you go Alpha here,
Hanzo, Joe.
it's really tough.
Lucas Jungle, meron yun. Yes, gumagana po yun, Lucas. Pero tingin ko dito, Julian eh.
What are they lacking right now? If you're
Alpha
talking about
Julian
crop
lang ako
control,
dito.
that might be the case in an AoE fashion. No,
Looks
actually,
like it's
Very
just
Alpha.
the alpha pick. All the other meta
Kinda
junglers
stuck.
are gone, so
Great draft by Liquid ID. You could clearly tell just how much they prepped for this. The two drafts, how they might play in this game number 2.
Maganda yung ano.
it's
Yung
also-
Cho lang siguro medyo iffy para
well,
sa
I will
akin.
say I do feel like on
Pero sabi nga ni Mr. Pandora, panoorin niyo yung interview ko with him. Sa point of view niya, lamang ang Cho sa Matilda kasi hindi nakakaikot ng maigi si
fair
Matilda.
So now, we're moving on to game
So,
number
di ba,
2.
yung
And
kailangan
this
i-save ni
is
Matilda sa
literally
Badang. Pero
the
this time,
M6
dalawa yung
Grand
possible
Final
na problema niya
rematch.
ni
And at
Matilda
this
na
point in
parang
time, Team Liquid
kailangan niyang
Indonesia, they
magpalis
have
dun
went
sa
up against ONIC PH,
sa displacement ni Cho
against the
at
man,
kailangan niya rin
Kyra,
kontrahin yung
who
ano.
managed to get himself an amazing savage, and
Badangs.
this is the fight for the perfect run here for the group stage. This is going to be a very amazing game here into the land of Dawn.
history has already been defied as Team Liquid ID strikes first blood, taking a victory away from their rivals who stole their potential throne at M6. Now eager to push it all the way to the finish line with a clean sweep, will ONIC Philippines be able to stop them in their tracks? We are going to see if that is possible because, yeah, Team Liquid ID in game number 1 was terrifying.
Terrifying.
The emblem, so Master Assassin for Kelra.
Aray.
Other than a laning advantage, it does mean that he can catch the backliners off guard if ever this is the very aggressive Irithel that dives into the back line. You saw a heavy rotation downside for Liquid ID, but Keller read into it and decided to hug the turret to avoid getting ganked early on. So Liquid Indonesia, let's see if they're gonna replicate
Ano,
their
game. Sino sa tingin niya mananalo?
wherein it was Kelra
Game
heavy,
3 to?
and then
Kaya?
the team fights always look for super friends.
Looks like it's a bit hard
Kaya-
to do that
kaya
now,
game
since
3.
King Kong is being escorted very heavily by his team to just farm up as fast as possible.
Kuha ni
Alpha
King Kong
has one of
XP.
the fastest
Talaga.
jungle clears out of most heroes in the game, so that is something that they can take advantage
Ganda
of.
sana ko
The
nag-Saint
TLID
Seiya din
don't
si
really
Bruce
seem
ko
too
para
perturbed.
nakakalito sila.
They are playing 4 impure rages, by the way.
Yeah. So Liquid Indonesia also one of the
Uy, grabe. Wala nang intro.
He's able to dash out just fine. I don't think either team really wants to
Kinombo
force a
agad
fight
si
just
Fabian.
yet. Yehezkiel gets caught in the Void Crystal. ONIC is moving around as 4 very heavily.
Yeah. They know what they can get with a 4-man rotation plus an alpha on
Ginawa rin kasi sa kanila ng Aurora. Ginawa ng Aurora sa ONIC Indo.
Turtle.
Yung gantong apat.
King Kong will commit an ultimate to get closer.
Yeah, Fizz Break connects once again on Aran. Actually commits the Fizz Crack to it. Turtle dropping
King Kong,
low, but
ginawa.
Fabian's right on top of it as the glue is in the
Sa may
backline.
counter.
RWM on both members. But ONIC actually getting chased down. The split play
Ah,
connects on
wait.
King
Sakit.
Kong, pulls him back
Grabe
into
naman si
Team Liquid
Oranski dun.
ID. And the circling Eagle to disengage
Grabe.
as well.
Handang-handa yung ano.
Turtle secured first blood as well to TLID.
That was a
may
perfect
rotation.
entry by Aran. Committed the flicker once
Ganda
he
ng
knew
glue.
where King
Putek.
Kong was, got him with the grab, and that meant that TLID have now denied a big snowball for ONIC PH happening within the first 4 minutes. Let's see what ONIC PH will do to
weird.
equalize. They might try to go for steal in
Pero
resources
di pa tapos,
downside. Just gonna get the golem. Are
Mga
they gonna
tol,
go any deeper?
relax
Maybe
lang kayo.
towards the orange buff? No, they won't.
Aeroshiki might have actually
Yeah.
taken that with the Death Sonata, so...
I think it did.
Team Liquid ID not even allowing ONIC to get free farm in their jungle. They want to be as efficient as possible. Aeroshiki takes a big amount of burst from Keller, but guess what?
Witty's
Here
here.
is Witty with the circling eagle. The knockdown into the wisp and the
damn.
final auto attack
Wala
takes
pa
out
ka nun.
Irritel.
Nakuhaan pa siya
On-point
nung
rotation.
kite.
Witty was there. Aaron Shiki baiting out Kelra, making it look like, oh
Natatalo sa rotation tayo dito. Mga sir.
Briscoe gets the
Nako po,
kick
pangit pa
onto
ng
the
combo.
Valentina right into the
Di
two-man
nagamit.
Spear of Alpha. Guy
Mali yung
Winslow
ultimate
pulls out
Prince.
Yehezkiel and he steals the Spear of Alpha. Knocks up King Kong with it. Blade Surge
Yun
connects
lang.
Witty. Picks up the kill on King
La,
Kong. Briscoe with
nag-greedy
the
pa,
3-man knockup, but he's
nanggigil si
all by
Bruski.
himself. So Yehezkiel finishes
Wala,
him off
gigil
as
mo
well.
mga idol.
Madang pushing in the top lane. Liquid Indonesia pushing ONIC Philippines to their limits. Already 4-0 for the Indonesians and for the Team Liquid fans. Damn, this must feel so good.
This is such an unexpected result. We already know that Liquid can be pretty aggressive early on, but to have such big leads in the early game against ONIC of all teams in both games thus far is unheard of.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. ONIC PH has had many times before in their 4-0 series
tangke
wins
lang ng
against
glue.
Liquid ID. We know them so well. But now
Uy,
Liquid
Kurt.
ID have
Uy,
adapted,
Kurt.
and it looks like
Ano?
they're reading ONIC PH incredibly well
Double
in this
lane.
series. The fact that
Akala
they're
ko
up
double
this
lane
high,
XP.
heading into the second turtle. Let's see what
Wala
else they
akong
can
makakita
build.
nun ah.
This time though, ONIC does have control over the turtle pit. Aran
Let's go.
tries to jump in, all of
try
them at
natin
once.
yun.
King
Sorry.
Kong gets the turtle though. Split plane in backline. RWM
Nice Kurt kay
finishes off.
Fabian.
No,
Low si
Fabian's
Fabian,
alive.
patay ni Kelra.
Okay, he
He's
finally
down.
gets bursted down by Kelra though.
Beautiful
So
gameplay.
ONIC PH currently coming out on top.
Prince
Super Prince a bit
takbo.
too far up.
Binarangan
Has
ni
to flicker
Brusco.
away as Brusco
Very good.
continues to
Sipa
fight,
kay
gets the
Witty.
cake
Pa-Fury lang.
purified by Witty. Not
Kurt,
enough damage
tamang
from Aaron
bait
just
lang.
yet. Team
Goods,
Liquid
goods.
going to have to disengage with this.
Liquid Indonesia, really, I'm so impressed by how they're moving right now. Yes, they did lose members there, and they lost the turtle. Great execution by ONIC Philippines. At the same time, that could have been an even bigger ONIC Philippines win, if it feels like. The Liquid Indonesia of a few months ago would have continued fighting, would have tried to hunt Brusco, and would have fallen to the trap of getting
Ay, flash
surprised
na
by
pala.
Kelra, who was hiding in that shrub
Oh,
near
yaman
where
na nung
Brusco was
mati.
standing, making himself
Ang hirap niyan.
look
Ano,
like an
pwede may
attractive
glowing na pala
target,
siya. Okay na
but
pala.
Liquid Indonesia
I think
decided
gusto
to back off
ganito mga
instead.
gusto ko mid
Yeah,
mid
there's been a
laner
lot of
guys.
growth in terms of
Ayun no.
discipline for TLID throughout
Directa glowing
SPS
one.
year.
Meron kasi
That's what
yun,
makes it even
nagtatalisman
scarier
pa.
than they were at the M series.
Ang
ONIC
mga
Philippines
gusto
gonna
ko.
need to figure out how to deal with that somewhat, but that previous engagement, getting the objective and a kill on Fabian, is going to help them catch up just a little bit there. The net worth difference actually only be about 1k, 6 minutes in, so it's not too bad. Blazers connects! And Super
Okay
Prince
lang,
nearly
sacrifice
dies,
si
but
Prince.
Poppy out of the M
Bigay
can
na yun,
finally
pag
get bursted
buhos
by
mo na,
Aaron Chicky, but he
maganda
trades
decision
Soul Life in
yun.
exchange as the rest of ONIC
Trade na
is
lang, trade na lang.
surrounding Team Liquid.
Kaso wala na
Liquid,
trade.
though, will
Ganda
delay
ano kasi,
their
ang
entry,
katinong...
so it ends up being a 1-for-1. Fear of Alpha, King Kong looking
Ang
for
katinong
Fabian,
ano agad.
drops him to 40%, but doesn't quite get the
Ano
finisher.
yun?
Wow, ONIC Philippines.
Flask
Liquid
agad?
Indonesia
May flask
trading
agad
their
si
own
Weedy?
mid laners. Or actually, no, it
Sobrang
was
laking
a
bagay
trade
nun.
win for ONIC Philippines since it was Aaron Chicky that was taken down. King Kong would have
Ay, ang galing.
committed the ultimate, but can he get away from this safely?
Yeah, may Kirk,
Yeah,
may
that's a
Kirk
two-man
diyan.
stun. Not quite enough though. Witty tried to pull Aran in, but King Kong was still able to get his way out of the sticky situation. TLID trying to find something in mid as well, but ONIC now switching into defensive play since they want to keep themselves alive for the turtle.
Yes, Kiel. Let's see if he can get vision on to Super Prince and steal that real-world manipulation that's been problematic for ONIC PH to deal with. And Liquid Indonesia are bursting this turtle down.
Great zoning from Team Liquid. Very clean, very easy for Fabian to just get that turtle, blitz it down. ONIC already knew it was unlikely they could
Gulat
break
ako ng
through
binigay
there,
pa
so they
yung
just
Zoe.
gave it up.
Legits.
Next big
Legitimus
sequence might happen
Kirk.
somewhere in the river, around the jungle area, usually with how these two move. So ONIC Philippines are trying to leverage the middle minion waves coming in. It's going to be around trying to hold it, but heavy presence around that area means that ONIC Philippines is showing
Hindi ko pa alam
themselves.
kung na
Liquid
napupunta ng
will defend the
Indo.
turret in the mid, but now the center of the map in the river is being held by ONIC Philippines. Now they're going around in the four-man, again, the iconic 4-1 split of ONIC Philippines, sending King Kong alone in the far lane, while ONIC Philippines will try to find a push as 4.
And they are sticking to that formation right now, playing around mid lane, trying to catch TLID, rotating back down. Aran gonna
Hindi
scout
pa
the
to
push
playoffs.
though, sees it, circling Eagle on Briscoe, goes for the knock-up on Kirk instead. They're not really the angle TLID needs to start a fight though.
Hey.
ONIC Philippines has a good position right now with King Kong.
Twilight para
Potential
kay
late
Kirk.
entry angle, but now he's been spotted.
Granger, sa Granger.
And
So
Team
you
Liquid
did.
ID putting a lot of focus into
They're mainly
holding the
Granger.
river right now. They know they can't give up position here, because if they do, ONIC Philippines might be able to get some victories with pushes. Now they changed the 4-1 split. What was King Kong as the 1, now it's Kelra pushing down bottom. That will get Fabian's attention. And usually at around this point, this means that within the next 10 seconds, one of these two might try to make a play for something.
I don't think it's going to be ONIC just yet. They're playing in a controlled state right now, knowing that they can split up Team Liquid potentially. Aranto gets caught with a fist crack. It's a full 5-man collapse. Art of M popped by Yeskiel. Meanwhile,
Prince
the
makakulti
kick in,
pa.
Aran
Nice,
gonna be able to
Prince.
flicker
Napinigil na
back.
sa Fabian.
Actually
Ang
pulls
ganda
King
nung
Kong
harang
out,
na kay
but he
Fabian dun.
loses his life
Pwede na yan.
over
Okay na yung
to
buhay
the
ni
Irritel
Prince.
as Aaron Chicky
Patayin niya
pulls
si
in.
Shiki.
Super
Nice!
frustrated. Aaron Chicky
Very
finishing off
nice.
King
Double kill
Kong,
Kelra.
but he also
More pa,
loses
more,
his
more,
own
more,
life because
more!
they're so far up, and Kelra with the first damage. Triple kill.
ONIC of Philippines might have just cracked the code that was Team Liquid Indonesia's hold in this game. But with Fabian and Widdy still alive and King Kong and Super Prince just about to spawn, let's see if ONIC Philippines will be able to get this Lord. If ever it might be a contention, as Liquid Indonesia might have the bodies. 5v5 might be the number that we'll see for this first Lord fight.
And this is what I was
Hindi
talking
sulit
about
mag-lord.
executional
Mamaya na lang.
difficulty, right? It's a lot easier for ONIC to just run at Liquid with their abilities and set up space for Kelra. This Irritel has now reached the point where her best burst damage is a genuine threat to a team that doesn't have a lot of frontline bulk. And Aaron Chicky isn't able to reach them very safely. This is now a great timing for ONIC to play around.
Yeah, ONIC Philippines need to be careful with regards to Aaron Shiki getting kills. Sky Piercer as the second item. Brusco
Di pa kay Aran. Okay. Nice ulti Aran.
Actually, it was cancelled by
Good
the
job,
split
good job, good
split.
job.
And now Aran gonna jump back in.
Oh,
Out
din
of
naman.
the- gonna be used, but
Kelra.
Aaron Chicky is just
Patay.
dying straight away.
Ah, sige,
Kelra,
nice Kelra.
eyes on the
Nice Kelra.
back
Oh my
line,
God.
picks up
GTS
one,
Great
and he's
Dragons.
alive,
Ah!
actually dead.
Ayaw.
Winnie will finally finish him off, but what does it cost? 2 members already down.
Patay si
Kirk
Kirk,
though
sure.
isolated. And now Team
Ubos
Liquid
ang
ID
mga
looking for
idol.
the reversal.
Ubos ba?
Split on Aran.
Ubos nga ba?
Pulls King Kong back, but gets cancelled by Spirit of Alpha. Fabian is right here. Yehezkiel dishing out the DPS, and they're just keeping the Alpha locked down forever. It is a 4-for-1 trade for
napatay si
TLID.
Shiggy, pero hindi
Turnaround by
nakapalit.
Liquid. It was started off by ONIC Philippines, but it
sayang.
was finished by Liquid Indonesia. Fabian had no right to survive that long, but he was dancing left and right. Kelra, as we expected, would play the aggressive form of the Irithel, going for the chase. The Master Assassin might have helped him out deal that damage early on, but Widdy saving Fabian. The link up between the roamer and the jungle. Fabian was brought low. He had to reposition, use the guiding wind. Widdy was able to get the kill too onto Kelra. What a response by Liquid.
You can tell that they just know what their opponents are trying to do. TLID, when they started that fight, I actually thought it was questionable. Like, why would you position yourself like this? And it looked like they were immediately punished when Kelra dived in with the burst. But they were just waiting for it. They were baiting it. And this is why Matilda is so powerful in team fights as well. That blast of the Oasis, giving everyone so much extra shield. ONIC were not prepared.
Now BOD, the hands of Aaron Shigi, wasn't able to get a kill in that sequence. He was the one taken down, but at this point, that damage of the Granger will be problematic for the front lines of ONIC Philippines. They'll have to juggle front line distribution between the jungle, the roam, in the EXP, but King Kong's getting punished and poked.
Ad is down to 30%. He's going to be able to escape, but there's no resources left. And now they're committing the fist crack onto Kirk himself. Briscoe gets pulled out, gets finished off. Aaron Shiki just blows him up. And the top inhibitor is now gone as well. Team Liquid ID, moments away from creating history as they are looking for the clean sweep.
Yehezkiel's real-world manipulation steals have been on point. The activations, it's countered Super Prince's own real-world manipulation every time, but Liquid enters!
Fabian tries to go aggressive. Winnie pulls him out, sacrifices his own life for it. I think that's pretty worth it, actually.
Windtalker built up by Kelra on
not
Philippines.
worth it
Worth trade, definitely. As now they are down to 2 turrets in their base. The middle and the top turrets of Liquid Indonesia, first tiers, still stand. 6,000 gold lead. ONIC Philippines has the window to push out. Let's see what they can get.
ONIC trying to burst the mid lane with 5 members. Aran gets knocked up. Split comes out.
Kurt,
he's caught by himself and he's just gone. Super Prince down to half HP as well. As we see Aaron continuing to scout the bushes with that Death Sonata.
That looked like a miscommunication between Kirk and the rest of ONIC Philippines. What looked like, I thought, was just Brusco trying to bait out abilities. They were able to bait out the split. Kirk looked like he was ready to full commit, thinking that maybe ONIC Philippines would go for the full dive, as there was the alpha coming in from the purple shrub area, the purple buff area of Liquid Indonesia, but they've all decided to back off, leaving Kirk getting picked off.
RWM early just to clear the way from Super Prince. Means you won't have it for the next fight if ONIC needs it. Team Liquid, though, just pushing them back, keeping them in the base, because the Lord is up.
This contention might be risky. Kelra just used his heavy crossbow, won't have it
back
for
palag.
another 20
Knowing
seconds,
ONIC, lalaban na
just a little bit longer. ONIC Philippines, though, they're trying to see if they can somehow miraculously steal it away. It might be way too risky.
Briscoe trying to look for it, gets the knock-up, but Aaron Shiki secures the Lord anyway, and that is a toe dead. King Kong now being caught by the split. Once again, Spear of Alpha to escape. The crown used as well as Kirk is being chased down the other side. Kelra with Yehezkiel in 1v1. He will end up taking out the Valentina, but what does it cost? It's already a double kill for Aaron Shiki. And the base is wide open up top. Super Prince trying to defend, trying to keep their win streak against TLID alive. There's only a single minion there. Kelra has recalled. The Blade Surge connect. Unstoppable for Aaron Shiki. It's Kelra versus the world.
Tapos ang boxing na tayo natalo.
Answer as Team Liquid ID subverts history and takes the clean sweep.
4 series lost to ONIC Philippines in a row, but Liquid Indonesia finally gets sweet revenge and finish off Group A with a spotless record.
4 is the magic number, and 4 is all they can have. Anything after that, no more. As now Team Liquid Indonesia completely changed
for the
time
first time
battle
natalo.
And completely
sa
turned heads as they 2-0 swept the world champion. Ooh.
what an unexpected result. Out of everything, this is the series we were expecting to
GG,
go
sir.
all 3 games.
Tanggal pressure niya
Every
natin.
single one of us
Ibang laro si Coach
predicted
T.
a ONIC victory.
TG?
And to make it worse, Redmar and
Ah!
myself,
Okay.
2-0 victory in
Brusco, drop
favor
mo kayo guys. Hindi
of
pa,
ONIC
yung ano,
PH.
hindi
Now,
lang ata goods.
We have been here.
Yung
in
bakit din
Stream
ng mga
A,
ano nila eh, mga
watching
early.
TLID since day 1. Shrub muted the
Nadadali
flicker.
sa early.
Here to play overall.
Niners off guard if ever. This is the very void chance from Gates.
So, nag-apat. Tapos walang level 4 si ano.
With the 4-man rotation.
Hindi level 4 si
Alpha
Super
on
Prince
their
dito eh.
side. Brusco
Ito na
already,
dito na Eagles. Yan
trying to control with the turtle. To see if King Kong will commit an ultimate to get closer.
Yeah, Fizzbreak connects once again on Aran. Actually commits the Fizzcrack to it. Turtle dropping low, but yeah, Fizzbreak
Ganda ng
connects
ginawa
once
ng
again
Blue.
on Aran.
Turtle. To see if King
No
Kong
nan
will
sa third, no nan sa
ultimate
first third.
Yeah, Fizzbreak
Yan.
connects.
Yan ang key to victory. Whew. Anyways, mga tol, pasensya na. GG tayo.
watching out for the
Malungkot,
late
kot
entry.
malungs.
This time around, they were playing a little bit more of like TLI
Pero
in
it is
the
what it
past,
is.
where it's just like,
And play it at his Hall of Fame.
Ano nangyari dito?
Did you ever watch
2-0 flash.
Yeah.
The marksments, it's all full
Kaya tatapusin
build.
natin to. Itong game lang
The one
na to.
that's
Kasi
interesting is the fact
mayroon
that
pa
Witcher
akong
Crown
gagawin.
for innocent instead of Win of Nature. So
Nakaka-concede ba si
respecting
Brusco,
both
no?
damage coming in.
Oh, yung draft din medyo
You
iffy.
know, from Yif, and also the fact that the CCs are there to kind of cancel the Blazing Duet out if he doesn't have the Purify.
Yeah, and also he has built the Windtalker. So both marksmen here, no shoes, as Amon opted for that Rose Gold Meteor. So extra survivability. Let's see though, will that item come into clutch though? Let's see, because technically now, Bigatron Alpha, they're in the lead with 2 base turrets already claimed. What will SRG do in this next coming Lord fight? Spell check, all are active, so technically, both teams, they're ready for a big 5v5.
For sure. SRG, so far, their average match duration is 13 minutes and 49 seconds. Now, after a 20-minute game in the first game, this is a 17-minute game so far for themselves. So, might be a question for them. Are they comfortable in this situation? Because this might be the first time they have to fight a hard-fought battle in the late game. Light, getting a good position there. This might be bad for SRG.
I mean, his location might be known though. Keep an eye on the bottom side of the map there, as Moskov is going head-to-head against the Hilda. That's info on the information, on the whereabouts on the Hilda. Let's see here, Bigatron Alpha and SRG taking this dance slow, and keep an eye always on the bottom lane. Know that Moskov is there. Yumes committed the conceal and the unstoppable force, like only now with the Shunpo, in a sense. Oof. Oh, they're taking a risk. Bigatron Alpha and SRG.
Went for Pan with the conceals, but no conversions from both of them. Supercan is already half HP. Trying to just chunk down the Lord. Light looking for the opportunity, still weaving through the walls. This is bad for Slanger Giants.
Oh, Luke jumping in though. Let's see here with the immunity that he has. Oh, ejector though, committed now. Vengeance pop. The Lord will be taken by Supercan. That's a knock, a big one. That's going to be the knockdown from the Sphere of Misery. Sakai is trying to jump in, but Innocent off-cam kill on towards Luke. 2 for 1 as Amon claims the double in the backside.
Oh my God! Wala na bang chance ang
inside the
BTR?
base, looking for the triple, looking to deal the final blow. Humes, no immortality, real world relation committed as well. That's going to be Cram in a no man's land. Now Bigatron Alpha has found 4 and looking for the last man base. Bigatron Alpha forces series on towards a game 3.
Eman is a maniac, man. It's an equal score right now, 1-1 for the Red Robots and Slanger Red Giants. What a play in that late game. Spear of Destruction towards the base. Who could have seen that coming?
definitely not Bigatron. I mean, definitely not SRG. But like that was a little bit of a deja vu situation, I believe. But for the opposite team, SRG holding on all the control because of the composition that they drafted in. Right, they had a lot of early damage in their comp. They had the Suyo, they also had the Jawhead, they also had the Hilda going in for them, and they were able to take control of most of the early game objectives until that one moment during, well, almost during that Lord fight, before the Lord fight, where Cram was taken down and it was a 4v5. And I think that really was the beginning of the end for SRG. Because Bigatron, with the Lord push, sure, they didn't get any base turrets. Well, they got one base turret in the bottom side. But more so than that, they were able to catch up in terms of damage, right? Amon being on the Moscow, very late game hero. I think that's what they were counting on from the beginning, right? The fact that they needed to buy as much time as possible for their team, for them to come back with the late game damage, not just from the Moscow, but also from the Yves. 18 minutes and 38 seconds. It's a story rewritten, but in favor of the Red Robots.
840? Tagal
Early
pa.
game was
59 minutes pa.
SRGs all the way, even in the mid game. Totals 3-0, so you can see their objective control by Sekais.
So anyways, kung promote ka lang, panoorin niyo po yung recent podcast namin. Napakaganda ng usapan. Papahinga muna guys. Actually, may mga it's work time na. Dahil tapos na yung mga matches. Kailangan namin din panoorin yung ONIC ID at evaluate whatever happened against Liquid ID. So, ayun. Shoutout sa inyo. Maraming salamat. Very unsure kung makapag-stream pa ako ng mga next matches natin, especially kasi sobrang busy na. Pero for sure, ay pagdating ng playoffs,
right? I mean, you mentioned
no matter what
Eterna,
happens.
game 1, it was Bigatron who Bigatron, but SRG showed, hey,
meron
you throw
laro,
a game, we throw two. And in game 2, SRG wasn't able to hold on to that control.
Laglagan portion din yan.
Why? Because
so yun, maraming salamat. Sana nag-enjoy kayo kahit pa paano.
The far lane
GG's.
pressure as
Is
well,
what it is.
which
Bye-bye, love you all.
which made SRG kind of, okay, let's not commit on towards the fight just yet, knowing we are dealing with the
Hindi
Moscow,
naman,
but
hindi naman.
Mon showed up in this